We've normally got our shit together. Growing pains for sure. Uh, all right. Is our audio good now at this point? Hopefully. See, hang on. Let my live stream catch up. Yeah, audio's back.
Whatever the glitch was, it kind of messed up, I guess.
Thanks, Polly. Thanks, Seth. Appreciate it, guys. So, anyways, y'all didn't get to hear our funny intro. That was unfortunate. We had a whole big elaborate scheme on that.
Well, let's catch everybody up with what we're doing today. So we'll start back with that.
So we're doing Fireball.
Yep.
And Jack Daniels. This is actually going to be a versus.
Oh yeah.
For us, it's going to be a versus. Chris and Bill both have Fireball.
Yep.
So they're not going to be able to give their opinions on Jackfire, but they will give their opinion on some Fireball.
So I'll also add, everybody knows what Fireball is. I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of it. Jackfire is their version of fire. It's also called Tennessee Fire, but a lot of people know it's Jackfire. But yeah, we're definitely gonna put them two together and see who's the best on it.
I'm gonna go with the Fireball first. I'm gonna go with the OG first.
Yeah.
If you don't mind restarting your drunken story, Chris, I do apologize for the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
We haven't. We're gonna wait on you. Wait on Bill too. So if y'all haven't figured out, Bill, of course, that's his notorious logo there with the skull wearing the headset, and then old Chris up there at the very top. Just to let everyone know, Bill's not gonna light up green. We just put his logo there.
Yeah. Couldn't leave Bill just hanging like that. We figured we'd give him something.
He's afraid of Big Brother. It's okay. Everyone ready for a shot? Clink. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, I agree with that.
A
lot of cinnamon.
A whole lot of cinnamon.
A lot of
cinnamon. Freaking Big Red. Can't hear Chris now. LOL. Can you still not hear Chris? Chris, can you give us some audio check? I guess we tested. All right, still cannot hear Chris.
All right,
can only hear us. Stand by, guys. We had this down back. I promise. Bill and Chris can vouch for that. Can you hear Bill? No, can't hear you either, Bill. Hunter's gonna fix it. We're about to do a live audio test. Shit.
All right.
Chris is never gonna want to do this ever
again. No, it's all good, man. It's all good. We'll get it. We'll get it figured out.
All right, so we'll have to wait back on till we get some more reviews and stuff on the audience. But I believe everybody's back.
I've got it going right here.
Yeah, you got my voice.
Hang on.
For the
Computer's
delay.
definitely picking it up.
Got you, Chris.
Hey. Can we tell that drunken story
Nope.
again, or are we just gonna keep this train moving?
I'm not sure what
I
happened
guess
with this
let's-
whole podcast,
I
the
don't-
glitching and all that.
The drunken stories, I guess, were not meant to be for the fireball or just drunken stories in general.
Yeah, it's
if
all
you
good.
want to tell one, you can, Chris. I'm sorry. Or if you want to move on, we can move on to something else.
Yeah, we'll just keep this train on moving. I'm all good, man. We got lots to talk about.
I mean, we always pass it around to someone else and go from there.
No, so have either of you or any of us, have you ever had a strange business venture that you were in, or have one that you thought of that was kind of strange?
Okay,
I'll
so
jump.
like
Oh,
no, go ahead.
okay. The one thing that comes to mind is when I started making liveries for the fire trucks in our server. Bill and I spent countless hours making liveries for the fire trucks, and we got really good at it to a point where I was like, "Hey, man, like I could probably sell these, or I could probably make liveries as a business for other communities and logos as well." Not so much PD vehicles. I mean, I've dabbled a little bit PD vehicles, but really enjoyed doing the fire liveries and the logos. Like I said, if you look at our trucks, like they're pretty pristine. I got pretty good at it. So that was one kind of like weird, odd thing that I thought about maybe making a business venture at one point.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, I can actually agree with stuff like that because, that's how I became like over liveries as well. Was I just started messing with something. It was something easy to fix, I believe. And I made a custom skin for one of the vehicles in our server. And I kind of jumped into, I was the person to go to because at the time, we
Mhm.
really didn't have too many people that messed with it. And everybody just started shooting me like all these different ideas for skins that they wanted for like police vehicles. And, that's pretty much how I got onto that. So it's kind of funny that you're talking about the same thing on it.
So I can tell you something that was kind of a weird deal when I was going through business school. The what we had to do at one point was we had to create a business, right? Just a pseudo business, and then we had to stand up in front of the class and try to sell this business. Now, we were paired up with some people. So there was me and a couple of people, and then there was this group spread around. And the teacher was the shark nowadays, right? The person that would want to invest in it. Um, and we spent, I don't know what it was, a week, 5 days, something like that, to come up with it, to design the idea, to come up with a marketing plan for it. Basically, everything you do for startup business. And for some reason, we came up with a banana peeler, like an automatic banana peeler. Now, first off, let's just say bananas are the easiest thing in the world to peel. You don't need a banana peeler to peel a banana. But we came
Oh.
up with this. We didn't win, by the way. We didn't get picked up. We were like the last group.
Yeah.
I think they had like an automatic goldfish feeder or something that was a better idea than ours. Uh, but that would have been probably the strangest thing I've ever even been a part of. Was just a banana peeler. Yeah, and we took the whole concept off of those things, those potato peelers and apple peelers that you put them on and
Yeah.
they spin around and there's so we kind of stole that kind of idea and just thought, well, if it's something that we put up top and you hit a button and it just peels down, and the teacher at the end goes, "Do you guys know that all bananas aren't shaped the same?" And we're like, "Yeah, I didn't think that one through." So it could
Yeah,
just
that
go to
is
peel the
true.
banana and just squish the hell out of it. And
Huh.
I mean that kind of goes with quite a few things. Quite a few things in your walks of life. Not everything is all shaped the same. You know what I mean?
But I mean, if you think about it, there's a lot of pointless gadgets like that, though. I mean, you see them all the time on like Amazon and all these other sites and stuff.
Stuff that you wouldn't think. Like people are so lazy that it's like, okay, you know what? That's actually. I bet you if you pitched that idea like right now, you'd sell it.
Yeah, because
Someone would buy it.
I wouldn't say that it's lazy. I would just think people don't think about it. People go, "Oh, banana peel. I don't have one of those," and they
Yeah,
buy it and then it hits
Like that's
them
going to
after the
become your
fact.
new household necessity.
Yeah,
In your
Right,
in,
but
in
think
your
about it.
In your kitchen drawer, you're gonna have a banana peeler.
right.
Think about this though, right? Somebody made millions of dollars off of the stupidest idea ever, the
Mhm.
pet rock. Right, like they sold googly eyes in packets you could go to the store and buy.
I had a pet
You could
rock
go
when I was a kid.
Can't
you could
It's
go
like
out
that.
back and
That's-
find a
You can't
rock.
lie.
So you could have made your own pet rock. You could have had a whole pet rock village. But they were selling pet rocks for like $19.95 or whatever it was, and people were buying the crap out of them.
That's just ridiculous to me. I don't. That's one of the like really stupid ones that I will never understand.
it never really goes over my head with stuff like that. Like I'm the one that's gonna think about that before I buy it. So like me, I wouldn't buy it just because I'm like, oh, that's new. I don't have it. I'm gonna think I'm not gonna need it.
Did I ever tell you my business idea?
Uh-uh.
So, I lived on this this road a few years ago that it dead ended into uh a lake, but there was a building on as you're heading towards the lake that used to be a bar at one point. But it got closed down and it just sat vacant forever. Uh, well, I was I was being serious. I don't think people thought I was being serious, but I was like, I want to open something there. And they're like, what do you want to open? I was like, well, for one, during the day, I want it to be a bait shop because I can make good money off of selling bait right there at the lake.
That's pretty easy. Yeah.
I wanted it to be a bait and tackle shop. But at
That'd be
night,
cool. That'd be a cool little venture, man. I would enjoy doing that.
oh well, hang on. You might enjoy this a little bit better. Hang on. But at night, I'd like it to be a gentleman's club
Nice.
because the building was big enough for one side to have the bait and tackle shop, and the other side to be a gentleman's club, and the name of
Right,
it was
so
going to be Boobs and Bobbers.
I just literally thought of that. I
Yeah.
was like, the name should be Boobs and Bobbers,
So
and no.
so actually,
That-
funny story on top of that. My brother and I used to do a lot of ice fishing back in the day, and Bill, you remember the story? We thought about like taking the fish out and open a little business and like opening it to people to come and be able to fish and then get a haircut at the same time. We call it fish and clips or
Yeah.
huts and cuts. Come out, catch a couple fish,
I
get a
pitched
haircut.
this idea to a few guys at work, and they were like, "I don't know about that." I was like, "Well, I think what didn't sell it for them was that I was like, if you get into business with me, your wives are going to have to work for me for a little while, like."
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like what will end up happening though is your adult gentleman's club will start smelling a little fishy.
Yeah, that's true.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
You'll start to lose business fast too.
Maybe I'll gain it. I don't know.
So I had an idea. It was a multi-step idea actually. It was, and I think I told you guys this at one point, was if I was able to get a liquor license, like in my name, what I would have liked to have done was created a thing called the Red Light Tavern, which would basically be, there'd be a big red light in the middle, so like a stoplight in the middle of the bar. That when it was red, the prices were normal. When it was green, the prices were so much percent off or whatever. And then when it was yellow, that's kind of like the you better hurry up because shit's about to go back to normal price. Then there would have been jail cells in there, so if you spilled your beer, you go do your time in the slammer. And on top of that, I wanted to do like an Uber type service, but it was called DUI, drive you instead. And it was just going to be like a piggyback off of the bar, where you're at the bar now, you're drunk, you can leave your vehicle in our parking lot, we'll drive you home for a fee. And I just couldn't. There was no way I was going to get a liquor license, and on top of that, I don't know how I would have went about insurance for driving drunk people home, because that could turn into a shit show real quick.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, wouldn't you want to get a haircut and fish at the same time? Come on, guys. Huts and cuts. Come out.
Chris is like, come on, my
catch a
idea
couple-
here.
Catch a couple perch, get a little buzz cut. Good to go. I don't know about you guys, but that fireball, that warmed me up a little bit. That's nice. It's nice.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice on the inside.
Well,
So, do you have a business idea? I think you're the only one that didn't go.
So I really don't have too many. I know I did at one point decided I was gonna try and do banners. like buy my own printer and all that, and just
Nice.
sell banners for like birthdays on the weekends because everybody's birthday is on the weekend. So you would have probably at least 5 or 6 people, within a month that would probably need a banner, estimated. But I mean,
Hmm.
I could probably do at least 6 to 8 banners a week. And if you were to charge $25, that would run a good bit. But I never got into it because the printers were, almost like I'd give it probably about 8 to 10,000 for a decent
Oh,
printer. So I never fell into it.
jeez.
But if I could ever get that one going, I would have. But that's probably the only business venture I ever had that I thought about. I can't
It's a
say that's crazy.
lucrative little business. Yeah. Huh.
So
Yeah,
so you hear that, Bill? Put it under SAFR name.
I mean, I could, but I still don't think
That's
they're going to
funny
give me
that
a liquor license.
that's funny. Seth says that because we talked about the logo before this started. You're like, "How did you get my logo?" We're like, "We got ways." Chris is like, "Great, he's going to copyright it now." Thanks.
Yeah, it'll be copyrighted tomorrow for sure.
First thing
That's
tomorrow
funny.
morning.
That's funny.
So, I guess we'll move on to some DOJ questions. But first off, I'd like to, since both of you, and if it wasn't for Bill, I wouldn't have met you, Chris. And this wouldn't have been an opportunity. How did you guys meet?
DOJ, that's
Yeah,
how that happened.
DOJ. So, and Bill, like, you can jump in at any time, but I joined in it's like the fall of 2017, sometime around then, and I think Bill and I were pretty much the same rank when we first joined. Is that right, Bill?
Yeah, you were just in another department, I think it was. When
Yeah,
you were
so I
like,
started in dispatch for a month to get kind of my feet wet a little bit, and then I transitioned over to fire, and then we kind of just went through the ranks together, and we had a small little group of friends, kind of like we do over here at Saver, and just kind of went from there, man. It's been 6 years actually that we've known each other, so we've like I said earlier before the stream started, like we've been through a lot together, not just online and RP and building the community, but our personal lives too. Like we talk every day and we keep in touch. And he's been with me through my transition to getting on full time with the fire department. I've been with him through everything that he's been going through, and we've actually never met. And that's the kind of the crazy thing I was saying to Michelle earlier, my girlfriend, that it's long overdue. We got to get together and we got to keep this friendship rolling. It's pretty awesome that a game can bring. And you guys know, you've all been there. You've all met friends through gaming, and you've kept in touch with each other.
yep,
It's pretty
It
crazy. It's a different relationship, right?
it's
yeah,
funny you bring that up though, because me and Hunter actually are planning in 2024 to try to go out to Bill and see him. Fly out
Nice,
there and see him at some point.
nice.
Us being such bi- close business partners and stuff, and running the communities. I feel like that's like only right
yeah,
to actually get to
Absolutely.
meet your business partner
Hmm.
in person and face to face, and get to have a beer. I told Bill I added that to my bucket list to have a beer with Bill.
right.
So
yeah, like I've told the story at nauseum, but I'm just going to shorthand it. Is like the best man at my wedding I met playing a video game. So like, and he flew from
Right.
Australia. So
Oh,
like, some people take stuff for granted. Me, and this is no bullshit here. Is me and Chris have had many of arguments and debates and just like disagreed with each other. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about that stuff, right? Like it comes back to we didn't become friends just because we drove in a fire truck together. We talked afterwards, and it
Talked
it
about our
it
personal
evolved.
lives, talked about our families, talked about our work, talked about our relationships. It's just, yeah, it involved into this. Here we are today, and we're great friends, man. It's awesome. So
that's what
Saffir
SAFR
URP
and
convention 2024.
that's what yeah that's what SAFR and United are all about. Those like we're such a close knit between like both communities. Uh, that we all talk on a daily basis. Like shit, I think I spend more time with my gaming community buddies than sometimes my family. Luckily, my wife's a part of the community, so uh, but yeah, getting. I think that's the best part is like we're more of a family than friends because like when Bill was sick and in the hospital, we all checked in on him and stuff, and we all know what's going on in each other's personal lives, some of the feats that happen and such. I think that's a great foundation
Yeah.
for a community.
Uh-oh. Chris went away.
I'm still here on my screen, but not on the stream up top.
Hang on a sec.
Oh, the dog's gonna sit in. You guys
Make it
still hear me?
happen.
Audio good?
Oh, yep, you're back.
Yeah,
Oh, there we
audio's
go.
good.
There we are. Good thing I wasn't picking my nose or anything.
That'd have been great content.
Oh yeah.
So anyways, back to the DOJ and stuff like that. So what got you interested in DOJ?
Bill, you can go first, buddy.
So that's kind of a weird question. I mean, a weird answer. Was I knew a group of guys that are, I'm not going to say who it is, but they do YouTube and they're doing pretty good. But I was talking to them one day while they were animating a series, and they had brought up about like, because I used to play, Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid and all that stuff. So like I've been doing role play type stuff for most of my life. Um, so when they had brought up about this, they wanted to do like GTA stuff. They were talking about this thing, and I'm like, DOJ, the Department of Justice. Like, when they were saying it, my brain automatically went to the real DOJ. I didn't know what it was. And one of them sent me a link to a video, and I watched it, and then I just got stuck where I was like, it was on replay, like just the next video would play, then the next video would play, and I watched it one night on my phone for probably 5 hours, just over and over and over again. And I'm like, oh, this looks pretty interesting. Like, they're actually RPing that they're cops and the cops and robbers type thing. That's what I was thinking of at the time. So when I joined, it was a really small community just because like it didn't really blow up until after. Uh, and then shit got so political there. But the reason that I joined was because somebody else told me, even brought it up, and then I checked it out, joined, and then just like things snowballed to where they are today because of it.
So for me, and it's kind of cliche to say because it seems like it pretty much happened to everybody, but I just stumbled upon some streamers on YouTube in DOJ. I just so I guess 6 years ago I was 27 at the time, and I was just watching these guys stream DOJ, watching. I'm like, man, that's something I want to do. And then I saw the fire department stuff. I saw the dispatching side of it. Next day I went out, I bought a gaming PC and I applied. I think I didn't make it through the first application, so I applied a month later and then got on. But it was just one of those like Bill said, just sitting there watching videos of guys streaming playing the game, and I was like, damn, I want to do that. And then yeah, here we are, man. Here
Nice.
we are.
So I'm glad you bring that up, Chris. So what was it like transitioning from role playing as a firefighter to actually being one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, so like firefighting something I've always wanted to do, childhood dream, kind of just went through the ups and downs of applying and not getting anywhere, applying, not getting anywhere. And then started 27, started patrolling with DOJ and got into the fire stuff. And the one thing that I do like what they did is they were very realistic with medical scenes. They were very realistic on fire scenes, following the chain of command, scene command, how they put fires out, how they operated. And 6 years of doing that, um, they basically do things like they do in real life. And it was a great transition into getting into the fire service because you're pretty much doing the same thing. Like, yeah, we're RPing in a game, but we're doing it to a T, and we're doing it exactly like they do it in real life. So transitioning over into real life, it was an easy transition because you kind of knew the chain of command, you know how scene command works, you knew what your job was. And then the other part of it too was working with these guys in patrol who had the same common interest. It's the same thing in real life. You're working with guys on the trucks who are super passionate, super uh, hard chargers. They want to help people, and it's the same thing we do here, right? So, how was that Jack Fire, boys? Let's hear about it.
Ooh. To me, I liked it. Like it's similar to Fireball, but to
Not
me,
as
it's smoother.
cinnamon.
Yeah, it's smoother in that way to where it's not just an overkill of cinnamon. To me, it felt like I was breathing cinnamon with Fireball. With that one, I could taste the cinnamon. It was heavy, but it went away. Fireball,
Mm.
it just overpowers for me.
Jack Fire definitely worth a try. Like if you guys ever stumble across it, it's not very expensive. Give it a try. It's decent.
Yeah, I was looking for it at the liquor store here, and maybe I didn't look long enough. I'm sure they got it up here, so I'll have to try it.
So with the fire and stuff, like, do you see that as your lifelong career now, or is there something else you
Yeah,
eventually
man.
want to do?
No, that's it, man. That was the dream as a kid. As long as I can remember, it runs in the family. Just visiting my uncle and my cousin at the fire halls. Earliest childhood memory, 3, 4 years old, going to the fire hall, and took me 11 years to get hired. I started applying when I was 21, and then I just got hired this year in the spring. So it was a long, long, long battle to try and get it, and I finally got it, and I'm loving every day of it. And definitely nothing else I'd rather be doing. It doesn't even
You
feel like I'm going
volunteered
to
for a
work,
little
really.
while, right?
Yeah, I still do. So I do both. You're allowed to do that up here in Canada in the province. There's legislation that allows it. So I live in a community that is a volunteer fire department, but I work 20 minutes south in a career department. So I do both. So, but that was a big thing is the volunteer got me the experience. I did 3 years of volunteering, running fires, running calls, working with the guys, and then just started throwing resumes out again, and then I got the phone call, got the golden ticket. So
Yeah,
Glad that you're doing your life like your dream career. Like that's cool. Like a lot of people can't say that they're doing something that actually makes them happy.
yeah,
Or people always want more, and a lot of people aren't humble nowadays. I think that's a big thing. People reach for the stars when sometimes the stars aren't a reachable aspect.
yeah. They think
uh,
way too high of themselves on it.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
yeah, or they think you get a lot of guys that think that they deserve it too, right? It's like, I've worked so
Yeah,
hard and I've done this and that. And it's like, yeah, that's the wrong attitude to have. You got to be humble. You got to keep your head down. You got to grind. You just got to keep pushing forward and it'll pay off. And 11 years, man, that's how long it took me. So I finally got it. So yeah, I'm super, super happy. And like I said, it doesn't even feel like I'm going into work when I go in. So
that's super cool of you, man. I appreciate you being, a firefighter. I mean, anybody who does something like that, like that's respect right there.
I can't
thanks,
disclose a
man.
lot about my job. It's that same way for me. When I go to work, I'm actually happy to go to work.
Yeah, that's another thing
Uh,
too.
Well,
It's
not all of us work
it,
at
it's not.
Chippendales.
It's not. I'm okay. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Hey, it was good having you boys on tonight.
User has been banned from your channel.
That's funny. No, that's good, man. It's
Oh,
it's important to do something that you like and to be able to progress in your career. And like if it doesn't feel like you're going to work every day, then like it can't really get any better than that, right? We're here for a short time. You got to make the best of it. Like I only have a
Yep,
20, 25 year career ahead of me, and that's going to fly by, right? So you got to enjoy it.
absolutely.
I've learned that like for one, there's a lot more to life than money. Uh,
Hmm.
Happiness is a big thing. Uh, Family's a huge thing. But when you're able to go to work and the people in that environment make the environment like a happy environment that makes you want to actually come there,
Yeah,
you're there for
Hmm.
the people and the friendship. It makes time go by so fast. Like I thought time was going by fast before I had my son, and then we had our son, and time's going by twice as fast now. And they don't lie when they say time goes by fast when you're having fun.
yeah. I mean, stuff like
Hmm.
that. Which I don't have a kid, but I can speak on this because I've known people who have, and they've shared stuff with me. But people say, when you're living for yourself, it goes slow. It might go fast at times for you, But when you have a kid, you live for them and watching their experience and stuff. That exactly, it speeds up that time. I mean, I would say definitely. When you're going for the kid and watching him experience everything, that time's definitely gonna fly by.
We're going with the mix
Yeah, mix is next.
or on ice
The one
first?
on ice is last.
Okay, so we do the mix now.
Yep. And then I guess we'll go on to the next topic. Or it's not really a topic. It's actually going to be a question directed directly towards you, Chris.
Oh boy.
I mean, this is actually your podcast. It was unfortunate that things didn't work out. Steve, it is not Chippendales. It's more like Chippendales.
Fishing clips.
So it was unfortunate, that you couldn't ship us a bottle because that was the goal, was that we were gonna get something that wasn't sold stateside,
Something different. Yeah.
something different, and you were actually gonna send a bottle, and you bought the bottle
Yeah.
to send to me and Bill.
Yeah, crazy. So backstory for everybody watching. Went out and bought a bottle of Cabot Trail maple whiskey, and it is absolutely delicious, man. It's like sucking sap out of a tree.
Hey.
What did I say?
I didn't get
So yeah, I went to the post office. I got the boxes and everything, and went up to the counter, and she's like, unfortunately, you can't ship alcohol across the border unless it is a registered business with a license. So I was like, well, I messaged Bill and I said, you better get Safford to get a liquor license because we got to deal with this. So yeah, can't ship it across the border, man. So, but hey, I'm happy having a drink with you guys, anyways. A little fireball.
Yeah.
So we're mixing ours with Dr. Pepper.
A little DP. I just got the regular Coke.
Okay. Yeah, that was gonna be my question. Was what were y'all mixing y'all's with?
Yeah, just regular Coke. I kind of, a couple minutes before the stream, realized I needed a mix, so just grabbed a Coke and I'm good.
Budweiser.
I don't think I've had that.
Did you pour that in a glass and actually mix them together, Bill?
Don't expect anything less.
It's a cinnamon wiser.
Bill might be onto something here.
I'm not trying it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying it. There was some. It was moonshine. When we did the moonshine thing, my father-in-law actually tried to, or actually we did it. We took a shot out of our, or we took a gulp. We drunk the neck down on our Corona extras, and he was like, "All right, now Corona's his beer, or it wasn't even extra. It was that Corona Premier. He likes that light beers." So he was like, drink the neck down, and then he poured a shot of moonshine in, and he's like, all right, now drink it. Wasn't bad. I don't think liquor needs to go in a beer. No.
I don't know. Like I would be down to try something, but it's definitely not gonna be like my go-to. Something I go back to.
What's that beer that you drop the shot down into it?
Come on, like a Jaeger bomb or
something? Not a Jaeger bomb. There's a beer that you actually drop a shot of something into it.
I know what you're getting at.
Or do either of you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, it's a Jaeger bomb.
No, it's not a Jaeger bomb. You don't mix that. You don't mix that with a shot.
You can
Irish car bomb.
Yeah. Is that with the beer?
Yeah. Irish car bomb, and I think it's like a cream of some sort. I may have had it before, but yeah, it's like a beer, and you drop in like a cream liqueur, and it's, cheers, boys.
I'll finish mine first.
Oh, you just challenged them.
That's not too bad. That's like a cinnamon Coke. To you guys, probably like a cinnamon.
It's not horrible.
It's not bad.
To me, like you saw how much he poured into our glasses. At least I hope. It's like a Dr. Pepper with just a little bit of hint of cinnamon.
I mean,
I don't get no kick.
You can see, how much of that bottle is gone at this point. I do what I call, or what everyone calls, the BB's 50-50.
Yep.
I'm always going to pour you a
Jesus.
75 liquor and 25 Coke or whatever
Mm.
soda we're drinking.
Mm.
So Chris, have you ever been stateside?
Have I ever been stateside? So, I've only really
And are
been
you
across to
originally
some.
from Canada?
Yeah, so I grew up just north of Toronto, about half an hour north of Toronto. I've been just over to state borders. Like I've been Buffalo, Michigan. That's pretty much it, man. I haven't ever really been in the States too much. I've been to, destination places, Cuba, Dominican, went over to Cambodia at one point, Thailand, stuff like that. But really, really haven't really been to the States. There's a few places on my bucket list that I want to go. I want to go to Ground Zero, never been there. Maybe check out LA at some point. But honestly, it's the same thing it is here than it is down there, man. It's big cities, big populations. We
Oh
do have
yeah.
our sticks. We have the country here as well, but it's the same thing, man. Like I think it's a 4-hour trip over the border for me here, maybe less than that, maybe 3 hours. Niagara Falls. I'm
So, I
about
mean, you
I'm
realize
about.
you're only literally a few hours from Bill. You're not really far from Bill at all.
I actually looked it up the other day. It's funny you said that. Yesterday I looked it up. 7 hours to Bill. 7 hours.
That's not long at all.
Not that everybody and their sister has my address or anything, but
Yeah, yeah. Put it in the
No,
Google
yeah.
Maps, and it's about 7 hours, so it's not bad. Even if we met up halfway, it's like 3.5 hours, something like that, right? So
Oh, did we not
if
tell
we
you, Bill,
decided,
when we did we not tell you when we stole your logo? We got like everything about you. We know it all.
We didn't
great, there
steal the
goes my
logo.
credit
Like
card.
it's different, right?
The logo is different. He can't say that logo is not different.
Yeah, there's a black circle. Yeah.
Black circle.
Yeah.
Black circle.
It's not the same. Different.
Absolutely not the same.
So
I
BB
don't.
Hunter, question for you: Are you guys in a big city, or are you in the sticks? Whereabouts are you in the States?
So, have you ever heard of Memphis, Tennessee?
I've heard of Memphis, Tennessee.
All right.
A lot of people have.
So, we live in a little
Elvis.
town. We live in a little town, which it's grown a lot. It's not little anymore, but we live in a little town called South Haven, Mississippi. And literally from my house, it's about a 2-minute drive to Memphis, Tennessee. I
Okay,
live less than 5 miles from the king of rock and roll's front door.
I would say
so
we both have
you're
a
like
Lee
the
Rose up
suburbs
there.
then. You're like in the suburbs.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've
Gotcha.
lived in the county here. You know, it's it still has a small town feel. A lot of our places.
Yeah.
A lot of people know everybody, kind of thing.
Definitely.
I've lived here in DeSoto County for 15 years, 16
hmm
years, something like that.
I
You're
know.
you
I
since what,
started.
2003?
I started
2004?
third grade here, so it'd be somewhere about like
Yeah, it was
that.
like 2003.
Yeah.
Me and Hunter have been pretty much lifelong friends. I mean, 15 years of friendship, almost 16 years of friendship.
Yeah.
hmm
I mean, I think we met most of our buddies, through the beginning of high school, and we all keep in touch no matter where we are, because we do have friends that are out of state right now, but we all keep in touch. But yeah, it all started with high school for us.
So, Bill, I think you've told me this before. How far is your nearest biggest city?
So the nearest biggest city that like somebody would give a shit about is Harrisburg, and that's probably about a half-hour drive for me. So maybe not even that. Depends on when you get on the highway, how heavy your foot is.
Do they still roll up the sidewalk at night, BB? Yes, that
Yeah.
yeah, they still do that. They still roll up the sidewalk at night. Memphis, I do not recommend as a destination point for travel. I avoid Memphis, Tennessee at all costs, even though I live right next to it.
I mean, our biggest experience that you would come for would be Bill Street. Bill Street is one of those things you have to, you have to
You got to be there a
respect for
certain
everybody.
night,
Well, not even that, you have to
and
respect
don't be there
yourself.
past a certain time.
Well, but you can't disrespect anybody. You have to keep to yourself and make sure whatever it is, you don't look at a person the wrong way.
Memphis, Tennessee holds themselves to a standard of we've been on the most first 48 episodes, that kind of thing. That's literally what they kind of hold a title of. It's kind of they're ranked definitely top 10 of one of the most dangerous cities United States.
You said exactly what I was about to say. It was, I don't look and I don't know the actual number, but yeah,
They're
definitely.
ranked top 10 in
Yeah.
the most dangerous
So
cities in
just
the
looking up
United.
the population of Memphis. Population of Memphis in 2021 was 628,000.
Yeah.
The population of Toronto is 2.9 million, and I'm about half an hour from Toronto, so it's a big city.
Yeah,
Big city.
Memphis does have a lot of county. Your county's going to be safer. The further you get into Memphis,
Yep.
the more rundown areas. Now they are trying to change it, but I mean, it's kind of hard to change something that has been going downhill for 20 plus years.
I mean, look at Bill Street. Bill Street is around a lot of places that are kind of run down, but that's the best places to go to. You know, they have the most fun over
you
there.
know, the Hard Rock Cafe closed down in Memphis.
I heard about that.
They didn't want anything to do with it. Like,
And
nope, we're out.
for those who don't know, you know, the Hard Rock Cafe was been around for a long time, and that was the place that go for as a tourist. You know, people would tell them, go here, and they would have pictures on the
Well,
wall.
now it's that big ass pyramid that blinds you if you're going over the interstate crossing the bridge in Arkansas.
Well, see, I've always been big on music, and the fun thing about going over to the Hard Rock Cafe was looking at all the pictures of everybody who was, famous, who's been a singer and stuff. They would show all those pictures of them being there, and that was the one cool thing I liked about that. And to me, like Bill Street alone has a lot more places like that, but Hard Rock Cafe was one of the well known. I hate to see it, that it was gone.
So, is there any cool history in like the areas you guys live that like normal folks wouldn't know just coming through it that you could share?
Bill?
Nope. We have cornfields, Amish, and Mennonite. There's really nothing.
Yeah.
There's really nothing special about where I live. It's just this. I live in a. I don't want to say it because
Go ahead
I know.
and post your address. You know, I told you, Bill. If my live stream gets up to 10 people, I will leak his address.
Well, son of a gun. You know that song by Jason Aldean, "Try That in a Small Town"?
Oh wait, I was trying to follow the script here.
Yeah, see, me and you.
Okay.
Include.
Oh, my bad.
You know that song, "Try That in a Small Town"?
Yes. Yeah, the most controversial song of 2023.
That's where I live. Like, you know what I mean? If something happens, everybody gathers together to help the person out. It doesn't matter what it is, people try to help. I think that if that happened more often, I think we'd all be a little bit happier. That's why, I always put myself out there, even with you, BB, when you approached me about thinking about starting a community. I offered more information to you for free than anybody should ever have given away for free. But I know what it's like because I've been doing this for almost 4 years. I've failed so much at different things that I know what's right now. Right, you know what I mean? Like I know the what not to do to help you avoid those bad decisions. So I think if something happens, if everybody came together, I think it would be great. That's why Canada has it right.
Hey, we're definitely working on the coming together thing with our community. I mean, we are getting there.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Chris? Anything special like in your area that like is unique?
The one thing that comes to mind is there's a street that starts in Toronto down at Lakeshore and runs all the way up north. It's actually one of the it is the longest street in the world. It's 1,170 miles. Yonge Street, it's called. It is a very, very, very big street. Runs most of the southern province of Ontario. 1,178 miles.
All right, so I'm going to look up how long is Highway 51. That Highway 51 runs as far north as I can think of, but it also runs as far south of Mississippi. 51 runs all the way down to Gulf Shores, Mississippi.
I think the longest road in the United States is Route 1.
So
yeah, so I'm wondering if it's a difference between streets and highways.
Miles long.
416. So this street I'm talking about is called Yonge Street. Starts in Toronto and goes all the way up to southern Ontario. Is 1,178 miles.
You said Highway 1?
Highway 1, I think, is the longest one in the United States.
6? It's in California?
Nope, then that ain't it. I know it's on the East Coast because it goes like
2,370 miles from Key West, Florida to Fort Kent, Maine.
yeah, that's the one.
Wow.
All right.
So yeah, I think that's like the longest continuous road in the world is Route 1
I know,
because
I
it
know you
covers
can take,
almost the entire East Coast.
I know you can take 51 and all as far down south of Mississippi as it possibly take you, and I think 51 will take you all the way into Iowa.
Hmm.
Just about.
I wonder if the information I'm giving about the street here in Canada, because it's a street, not a highway or a route, but it's the longest street in the world.
I mean, but still though.
Yeah,
So
1,700 miles.
It's literally in Canada just a continuous street.
Continuous street. It's the main strip in Toronto, and it comes all the way up to me where I live here, and it just keeps going north. Yeah.
So like the street name never changes or anything at all.
Never changes. No.
That's different for us.
That's like the highways here.
I mean, for us, we would call that the main road. But yeah, I mean, congrats. I mean, that's long as hell.
So, what is your favorite movie of all time? Like you just have to pick one, and you can say it can go back to your childhood, it can be current, whatever it is. What would you say is your favorite movie like that you could just watch it a million times?
BB knows I hate him for that question, but
because it's hard for me to pick one. You know that.
I know,
Same.
That's why I asked it. Like that's a hard one for us to
Yeah.
answer because there's so many. But
Mine's hands.
I know. Yeah.
Hands down, Home Alone, the first one.
Classic.
See, the third one was my favorite.
Yeah, but that was when Macaulay Culkin wasn't in it, so that's where they ruined it.
True.
Favorite
I give you that,
favorite movie of all time, 1991, Ron Howard, Backdraft. It's a firefighting movie. Funny story about that is my mom just taped. Yeah. It's
buy it, Hunter. I've never
Kurt Russell and Alec Baldwin, 1991, and
buy it.
Yeah, buy it.
Buy it.
And
Yeah.
it has Alec Baldwin and
Kurt Russell. Yeah. So my mom actually recorded on a VHS one day. So 1991, I was 1 year old. She recorded on a VHS. I watched that movie 3 times a day as a kid, and to this day, it's my favorite movie. And kind of obviously put 2 and 2 together. Firefighting movie. It's a good one. You got to check it out.
That's an
Backdraft.
interesting fun fact, Seth. He says there's actually a sign in Key West that has mile marker 0 sign where Route 1 starts. So that's actually an interesting fact.
Wow.
All about that. Feel free, guys, in the chat if you're right now. We're on what is your most favorite movie of all time, whether it's current, whatever. Just pick one. Don't give me a list. Then maybe tell us why it's your favorite movie. So Bill said Home Alone. Chris said Backdraft.
So I'm thinking about what you said, and it's a movie that you can kind of watch continuously without ever deciding not to watch it again. Type thing. To me, would have to be Four Brothers. If you haven't heard about it, it's a movie with Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese Gibson, Andre 3000. There's a lot of people in this movie, and I can actually say that me and BB both would watch it around Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we've had this conversation as well as, was it a Thanksgiving movie and a Christmas movie? And to me, like, that's something I watch every year, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas or both.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely watch it at least once a year. So, like, for me, I would have to say that's one of the movies I can continuously watch.
Let's say one of my favorite actors, 2 favorite actors, and I can watch any one of their movies would be Tom Hanks. Any Tom Hanks movie, Saving Private Ryan, Forrest Gump, absolute classics, and Denzel Washington.
Toy Story.
Yeah, just Denzel Washington too, man. Training Day, just like John Q. Classic.
John Q. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
wait,
I like John Q.
Equalizer.
You said Denzel Washington. I was like, Tom Hanks didn't play John Q.
All right, BB. So what would be yours?
So that's a hard one.
Yeah.
You're actually you could never guess my favorite. What my all-time favorite movie would be.
It's too hard.
Debbie Does Dallas.
It's a Nicolas Cage.
Hold on, wait, what was it?
What
Nothing.
was it, Bill? What was
Debbie
it, Bill?
Does Dallas.
Oh yeah. Can I change mine?
He watched that his whole childhood.
Mine's actually a Nicolas Cage movie.
Okay.
And it would have to be Con Air.
Oh, Con Air is
I
classic,
do like Con Air.
dude.
Yeah.
Classic
Don't know
movie.
why, but that one I could watch it over and over
Put
and over
the
again.
bunny
But you always
back
can
in the
find new
box.
parts in that movie that you would never know, like were in that movie. Like the okay, I've got to word this in a way that YouTube won't flag it. So the CP guy, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When he was in the pool with the teddy bear
Yeah.
and the little girl was there, he had me on a fence. Like,
What was about to happen?
is he
Yeah.
is he gonna do what I think he's gonna do? But like,
Mhm.
is he as bad as you think he's gonna be? Because he wasn't as bad as really what he really was.
During that scene, I hated because they hit the music up, and it was like, okay, what is about to happen? Because you
That
never
was
know.
one of those that you would almost be like, I'm gonna turn the movie off if he kills that little girl.
So I would have to
It's
agree
got-
with Chris on this. It's a classic. It's one of those shows that you grew up with. I mean, at least for us. I mean,
Yeah.
definitely a classic. For me, like Four Brothers, it was something I could watch on. I
Whoa.
wouldn't call Four Brothers a classic, but Con Air is definitely a classic.
Okay.
That's Garland Green, man. That's Garland Green.
Decoy NDA, aka Steve, was on the set for Twister in Oklahoma.
Wow. That's news. Okay.
I didn't know
got
he was that
Cows.
flexible.
We got cows.
Bill Paxton, rest in peace.
Right.
I hate that he's not going to be
Yeah.
in Twisters.
Forgot he died.
Like it comes out next spring.
I heard about that.
You know, that was one of my favorites. I love Twister.
Yeah.
Any natural disaster.
I think me and you went and watched it a couple times. Yeah.
But dang, Steve, didn't know that.
It's one of like our audience and stuff is that they can comment on too. They're here with us. You know, we can repeat it.
I'm gonna let you ask the next one. I'll be right back.
Right?
Hold
Where
on,
we at?
I want to ask a question
It's
quick
whatever.
since we're on movies.
Yeah, go for it, Bill.
So you just talked about a movie that you could watch over and over and over again, like your favorite movie. What's a movie you've watched and you said this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life? I'll never watch this again.
Okay. Definitely a thinker.
Borat.
Yeah, that's a good one, Chris. Borat.
Yeah, I just it's not for me, that
Alright.
comedy.
This one's gonna be a little bit tougher. If I can, I would ask why. You know, just kind of like open it up a little bit. So for Borat, you know, why would it be, you know, what it is? Just buy me a little bit of time. It's just for me.
I don't know, man. It's just that comedy, that stupid comedy. I just don't like. It's like okay movie to watch for one time, but it's not one of those like raving movies that I would be like, oh yeah, check out Borat or you got to see that movie. It's a great movie. Like just no, not into it.
All right,
What
I
about
got
you, Bill?
mine,
What?
but I'm gonna have to think about it. I'll have to look up the title for it. But yeah, go ahead, Bill.
So a movie that I've watched and I will never watch again because even when I watched it when it came out, you could clearly tell that it was fake. Was Anaconda.
Mm.
It like nothing about the movie was realistic. Jaws, which was years before that, was more realistic than the fact that there's a 100-foot killer anaconda out there just eating people. That's not it wasn't a good movie. The plot line wasn't good. I don't know. I couldn't watch it again. Like if I watched it again, I would just if I was forced to have to watch the movie again, I would do my best to fall asleep.
All right, so give me a second to catch me up just in case. It's pretty much the same thing that you just asked, but it's the verse of it is what's the worst movie that you ever watched that it was just like too much?
Storm of the Century,
All right.
Stephen King.
It is between you and Bill. Bill was giving his, so between you and him, I guess.
Oh, my bad.
But so go ahead, Bill. I'll let you finish on this one because you were going at it.
Just the movie Anaconda was like the absolute dog shits of movies. And it's
First one?
almost up there with, yeah, like the one with Jennifer Lopez, and it was just so unrealistic. The CGI was so fake in it that you could see that you didn't even need to know what CGI was. You
Right.
just knew it was fake.
But you can ask.
Was that the one with Ice Cube? You said Jennifer Lawrence. Was that the one with Ice Cube in it too?
No, I think it was Jennifer Lopez, Ice
Or
Cube.
Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
the one.
pretty sure it was all them.
I like that one.
I like the Anaconda series to where it was like towards the newest one, which it was definitely after that one. I forget the actual name of it, but it was where they were searching for like an orchid. And that might be part of the title as well. But that one was to me was one of the better Anaconda series.
So not to interrupt, but Steve, so y'all dug the trench for the first chase scene. That was the first chase scene was when they lost the red truck, right? And they had to go underneath the bridge, and they hunkered down underneath the bridge, right?
Yeah,
and,
that's true. Yeah.
That was the first scene, right?
All right, so you gave yours. What we were doing is we were kind of explaining as to why it was bad. So I'll let you pick up from there. Again, what was your movie?
So Storm of the Century, Stephen King.
Okay.
Now it is a good movie up to a certain point. I like the beginning of it, to where like they're kind of telling the background and why he, you figure out quickly that he's the devil, and he's doing what he's doing to the town for a reason. But that was a made-for-TV movie,
Okay.
and they issued that TV show. Now, me and you are actually too young to remember this. I only know this because of like research and stuff. Bill probably remembers when it was aired on TV, and Steve probably remembers when it was aired on TV. But it was broke down into a TV series, and they just combined all of it into one big movie. It was like, here you go, here's Storm of the Century. But it was broke down into sections. Well, if you don't watch it in those sections, you try to watch it all the way through, it's like a 3.5 hour movie.
That's rough. Yeah.
But it gets its good points and it gets its bad points, and highs and lows, highs and lows.
Most movies, yeah. Okay.
That is a 4 hour nap for me, because I'll watch the part that I want to watch, and then I'm gonna go to sleep.
So like between me and you, like that's one thing that differs is like I try, if we are gonna say we're gonna watch this from front to end.
It was the yellow. Oh yeah, it was the yellow truck. The yellow truck got destroyed, not the red truck. It was when he told her, I'm gonna drive, and she was like, no, you're not. And he was like, yeah, I am, and he completely destroyed her truck.
So you know how I am with that stuff is like if we're talking about watching a movie or a show, whether it be because there are some recent shows now to where they'll make like say 6 episodes where they connect all of it together. But like movie wise with something like that, I will have to watch it from beginning to end, even if I hate it. Like there's a lot of stuff like that too, but I can't go to sleep on it. Like I'm always like that. You will fall asleep if you don't like it. To me, I'll at least put the effort in. I've watched say that much of it, I'm gonna finish it. If I hate it, I hate it.
If you bore me, I'm going to give you the first 30 minutes. I'll give you that. But if you bore me, I'm probably going to take that as opportunity for nap time, because I like sleep. And your movie's probably not going to get any better. Now, I'm also that guy that I look at the production companies when I watch a movie, and I'm like, okay, if it was made by Blumhouse, for example, okay, that's going to be a decent movie. Blumhouse makes decent movies. Universal Studios, bad example, because they make shit movies sometimes. Big production company, a lot of them are going to be good, but I have been tricked by, just because Universal signed them, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, I can do that.
I don't know. I'll give you 30 minutes into a movie, and if you can't give me 30 minutes and pique my interest, then we're gonna have a problem.
It's one of those.
And it's gonna be, I'm gonna go on nappy time.
it's one of those to each their own. Everybody has their own, time limit of, is this movie going to hit me? If it don't, I'm going to turn it off. Everybody has it. Everybody has that time limit.
I
So
won't even turn it off. I'll let you have the view for that movie. I'll let you add me to your however many millions watched it.
yeah, I mean,
But I didn't watch it.
I know you're going to fall asleep if you don't like it. You could contest or you can agree, but
I'm gonna agree. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna contest anything.
I'm just saying, I give you your opinion on that. So with mine, I had to look it up. Called Open 24 Hours. I believe.
You had to look that movie up.
Okay.
You did not fall asleep on that damn movie.
So based on his reaction, the question was,
you like that movie?
What was the question? Was what was the worst movie that we watched? So to give it a little bit of background,
it wasn't the worst movie. You liked the movie. You did like the movie.
No, but
you didn't like the ending of the movie.
Everybody can see his laughter. He knows.
Y'all
know.
You absolutely like that movie. I don't know what. Why is this movie being brought up as your worst movie?
Let me give him my side, and then you do what you got to do.
You like the movie.
So me and him will go back and forth on shows.
He's mad because he couldn't figure it out. That's his normal. No. That's his normal shit with movies. Is he can guess the entire movie in the first 15 minutes, and he couldn't guess that movie in the 15-minute period.
No, that is bullshit. He knows why. That's why he's laughing. So me and him, we will spend nights where we do absolutely nothing, to where we're trying to find something to do or to watch. This one particular night, he hits me up and was like, "There's this one movie."
The trailer looked good.
He's like, "There's this one movie that I see." He's like, "It looks all right," which, based on the trailer, he was right.
I played the trailer. That's how we always watch movies. I play the trailer first.
You know me. I'm not gonna lie about this. I was hooked. Like, he showed me the trailer. He was like, "This is the movie." I'm like, "All right, cool." I was like, "That doesn't look that bad." Movie premises is around a gas station the whole time. And I don't want to spoil it because I'm one of those people, I don't like spoiling anything, but
maybe that's what we need to do. We need to start doing movie reviews instead of alcohol reviews.
So this movie is based around a gas station. It's about around killings and all this other stuff. The trailer, like I said, it looked good. It looked creepy enough to be like, okay, this is going to be something I could watch at least for 2 hours or so. I'd give it maybe an hour and a half, I think is what it might have been.
That movie was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Sure. That was an hour and a half.
So we played it off the trailer. We're like, hey, we're both hooked on it. This doesn't seem that bad. We'll play it. It's late at the night. We don't have anything else to do. So we get into it. We're watching it. And it's going through its normal spills of you start learning about different characters. You learn about the little twist here and there. It gets to like the end of the movie. And there's literally no ending to this movie. It's literally like they cut it off for a.
Hold on.
Hold up.
I'm not sure what happened.
I just want to make
there.
sure. So, literally, is they're talking about like going through the movie itself. Like, it wasn't a bad movie up at the beginning. It gets to the end, and you're not following like protocol. Like, normally most movies, they give a ending to where exactly what's about to happen. Okay, this is what they're leading up to. They stop it at to where they could have made a part 2. There's no actual ending to it. So it comes up to one part, and we're like, okay, what's about to happen? End credits immediately. And there's no indication of a second part. We looked it up, and there's no actual part to where they're going to shoot a second part. That movie, to me, pissed me off because they just left it at that. And like the whole movie, like I was caught into like the first half, and then it started kind of going downhill. I was like, okay, well, at least they'll finish it off. And then they never did. They left it to where there was a second part, but they never made a second part, and they're not going to. That was one of my movies that I hated. And he laughs because he knows he picked it out. And that's why he says it.
It was a good movie.
No, it was not.
You got mad because you couldn't figure it out.
I figured it out.
Barely.
No.
Right at the end.
No. It was halfway through.
It was half. It was not
So
half. It
I'll
was
give
at
them
least-
this. I had 2 people in mind of who did it.
And you guessed wrong.
No, I had one person right, one person wrong. There was only one person, but I had my 2 guesses, and that was
So-
it. Like I
But
said, it was
you
either
were
him.
not able to finally decipher one person like you normally would on every movie, where you had it pinpointed and said, "This is it. This is the person that did it."
I give you this. Like
You
I-
normally can do that.
Yeah.
You didn't do it on this one. You failed. Your
that
job failed.
That doesn't piss
Your
me
job
off.
failed.
That's not what pissed me off.
So
I
I-
never ended it.
Just looking
I
at
don't
the
want to take
chat.
over this.
Yeah, just looking at the chat. I see that somebody brought up an interesting thing in the chat, and I thought that it would be worth talking about. But before I do that, I just want to say that there was a scene me and Chris were on at one point where I don't remember what happened. There's a video of it. We pulled up in an ambulance and we loaded somebody up, and the cops surrounded us. And as we were pulling out, Chris just openly said, "Move it, hairdo." And everybody on scene that was cops lost it.
There's
As
a
we're
lot of
driving
movies
away.
where
We're good.
Sorry, Bill. I didn't want to interrupt. Oh, we're just talking about getting to the next drinks for us. If no one knows yet, we're doing off 2 bottles. Bill and Chris both. They have Fireball, so they're ahead of us.
This is
So-
going to be another 2-hour podcast.
Yeah,
that's what we're getting at. This is going to be another 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, so like we have Fireball and Jack Fire to do, so we're trying to keep up with shots, mixed drinks, and over ice. So we're
Well, the talking gets you sidetracked and you lose.
Oh,
track
it's
of
all
your
right,
drink.
boys.
So,
so,
That's
if-
all right.
if
So
you
there was
see
the-
side chat.
great
That's what it
conversation.
is.
So what was the
There was
the
a-
chat?
So no, well, okay. So we were just brought up about the move it hairdo, but there was a thing in the chat that made me think of that. This was early in DOJ, not early in DOJ, but it was 2019-ish probably in DOJ, where a big fire broke out at Michael's house in the city, and units were responding from all over the place.
Yeah,
I
we
took
had
scene
probably
command.
8 or 10 fire trucks on route. That's how it was a big scene.
And mind you, this was being live streamed by somebody too, and the person who was live streaming it had the culprit in the car with them, or in the truck with them. But anyway, I had scene command, and I was telling people where to go, telling dispatch what I needed, asking for additional resources, like you should do. And this clown shows up, and their policy over there is if they're a little bit higher ranked than you, they could just take scene command from you. So I gave him scene command, but never mind that. I want Chris to tell you his side of it, because I could tell you I was madder than a midget running track. Like, I was not a happy camper. So go ahead, Chris. I seen Seth had brought that up. You and Seth both brought that up. I'm
Yeah,
taking
so
command.
we were en route to a fire at Michael's house. We were coming from Polito Bay. This absolute knob of a member.
My name is
um,
Jeff.
He was with the streamer. The streamer was driving. He was in the passenger seat, and pulled up on scene. It was kind of chaotic. There was probably like 6 trucks at that point, maybe 8 trucks. Bunch of shit going on. Fire attacks going on. And he just came over TeamSpeak with 30 people in patrol and just said, "Bill, if you don't mind, I'm gonna take over scene command." And what did you say, Bill?
I think I said, like, I called him a Apache or something like that. Like, I forget what it was, but I was like, if you if you think that you could run this ship better than me, go for it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a video of that somewhere, and I don't know. It's probably kicking around. We'll have to come up with it somewhere. We're just reminiscing, boys. Reminiscing of the old DOJ days.
Hey,
Yeah.
y'all are good. We're
Yeah.
kind of getting the next things going.
we talked about it before. We have kind of a list that we're kind of going through of what we're going to talk about. As transparency is what me and him go for. And we're just covering everything that we talked about before, so we know what was left. But at the same time, we're both listening in. So, I mean,
Yeah.
we're glad. That's the reason why with this episode, me and him talked about was we're glad we have 2 more guests and that we're able to all be on the same page. And to me, like, it works perfect with you, Chris, and Bill, because y'all both know one another. You all both in the same server, so we all connect. As nobody that's they added new, like y'all don't know each other type thing. So this is like the perfect episode right now. Is we all know one another. We all can relate to stuff and be on the same page.
So if you boys, or if there's anyone in chat that have any questions, for one, so chat, if you have any questions DOJ wise, anything that we've covered, favorite movies, worst movie, uh, I'm sure Chris is down to take, and Bill was down to take last time, so we can open the floor back up to DOJ specific questions. If you have any questions for these DOJ members and what it was like for them to be in DOJ during the time, even up till, I'm sure that they don't want to talk about unknown names.
Yeah, I would prefer not answer any questions about Diddlecat.
Yeah,
Understandable.
but I mean, I'm sure that we won't leave them out if it's absolutely necessary. Uh, try to leave allegations out of things.
I actually have a question for Chris.
I have a question for Bill
Okay,
as well.
yeah.
So go
Oh,
ahead,
this is
Bill.
gonna work out good.
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
in February of 2020, when we decided to make this SAFR run a thing before it even had a name,
Mhm.
we spent hours and hours and hours between me, you, and Matt in chat daily.
Yeah.
What, looking back at it now, like, you know, what was your view of the initial startup? Like, was it something that you're like, oh shit, this is going to be a lot of work, or like, what did you think of what it was now, or what it was then compared to how it is now? Like, you know, since, I mean, this year we've grown drastically.
I think honestly, and I think we were all in the same mindset. You, me, Matt, Spencer. I think that we thought that it was going to be bigger than what it was at the time. I thought that, we put hours and hours and hours into SOPs and policies, and we took what we knew from a big community and we brought it over and we wanted it to be the same thing. Looking back at it now, I think that that's what we thought we could do, and we could do it fast. And the reality of things is it's taken time, right? I mean, look at where we started. We started a Matt started a server. We bought a server. We threw a whole bunch of stuff into it. We had everything that we ever wanted, and then we realized that we need to work on a member base. And I think that's where that's brought us today. Is we're growing slowly but healthy. We're getting good members in. We're slowly bringing back the big things that we thought that we would need in the beginning. Like we talked about training last night, about bringing back some trainings and getting guys kind of up to speed. And but kind of like looking back on where we started, I think that we had really high ambitions and high hopes, and we kind of, in a way, we kind of got put in our place and realized that it takes a lot more than just buying a server and dumping a bunch of shit into it to start a community. So, if that
Yeah,
makes
I
any
mean,
sense.
yeah, and to go with it, like, to piggyback off my question and your response is that, you know, we did it as like almost like a poke in the face to DOJ. Like, you know what I mean? That's
Hmm.
how, that was my mindset for the first year was, if this works, it's in spite of DOJ.
But so were 1,000 other people, right? 1,000 other people were leaving DOJ
Exactly.
and starting their own communities, and it never worked. And shouldn't say we, you stuck with it, and we're getting to where we are now. So my question for you, Bill, is, and I've asked you this once or twice in the past few years, but do you miss it? Do you miss DOJ? Do you miss the 4 servers with 30 people and the policies and the SOPs and the chain of command? Do you miss being able to hop into server and have that kind of experience?
Uh, if you would have asked me this question 6 months ago, I might have had a different answer, but right now I'm going to say no.
Hmm.
I don't miss it because I think right now with, you know, with the partnership that we have with United Roleplay, on a business side, and the fact that we're working together as two communities, patrolling in each community. Plus, we hold events that are co-sponsored by both communities.
Right.
I don't really miss it because, the big community vibe is great. I would love for both of us to get huge, but at the same time, if we grow steady, that's not saying next month we don't get 50 new members out of nowhere, right? But as long as we grow steadily, I
I
think
would
it's
say
good.
the two things that I miss about DOJ, and like I'll just say, like, I do miss some things about it. I miss being able to hop into a server 24 hours a day with 30 people in a solid patrol going, and I do miss the laughs, and I do miss the friends. I do miss those experiences that we had and where we came from, right?
Oh no,
But
I
other
I, mi- I miss stuff like that, like the
Yeah,
ability to just go. "Oh, you know what? I'm bored. I'm tired of watching YouTube.
I'm gonna
Let
throw a
me go
helicopter in
patrol."
server with 30 people, and I'm gonna patrol the skies. Like how can you not miss that, right?
So
Yeah,
just like an opinion on that is like, so I've never been a part of like something that had a lot of people inside of it. Just to where you had never ending abilities and such. So I don't really feel I can speak on it, but I do think that the small time feel that we have going on right now, and yeah, the more we grow, me and Bill have talked about it, man. We go to where it's like, man, we had 10 tonight, or we had 14 tonight, or however many. It's between that 10 to 14 mark, and we're like, man, those that was a great patrol.
For sure, we're making good memories for sure.
But I feel like I always reminisce on like, let's talk about, you know, like, man, we it's a group of us that are continuously playing together. Uh, it takes such a big team, and it's really not a big team. It is a big team actually. There's 10 of us total that run both communities, and all 10 of us are running one big ship and saying we have ourselves set to this direction. But so playing in a big community to a small community, would you rather play in a bigger community and have more, or do you like that close knit small feel to it? Like, do we
I'm
really
gonna.
want to grow bigger? Like, I know we want our numbers to grow, but is that really something we want? Like,
I say yes, we do. Like, I think we do want to. Otherwise, we wouldn't live stream it and record it. We wouldn't advertise it. We wouldn't put ourselves out there, right?
I
Uh,
I
but
get I, I
but
get I
speaking
get that.
but speaking solely from somebody that was in DOJ, the reason why I don't miss it so much is because the more people you have in, the more like, okay, if I could just have been a member over there and not wanted to ever aspire to be staff or COC, I would still be there. Uh, the fact that I aspired to be staff in COC and wanted to take on a responsibility, now I was stuck with staffings, right? So I was called in for staffings of people I'd never met before, just because our time zones were different. They were patrolling during the mornings or, early afternoons when I was patrolling late afternoons to nighttime. So, I was the politics is what makes me not want to be there.
I agree with that. The like I said, going back to like the beginning, like the one thing I do miss is being able to hop into a patrol with 30 people 24 hours a day. Like, you wake up in the morning, have your coffee, 9 o'clock, you look, there's two servers rolling. Like that for me is like what I would inspire Saffir and URP to be a 24-hour server where there's always guys with different time zones in, there's patrols happening. Even if it's one server, you have 15, 20, 30 guys. Like that is what I think we should inspire to be like. And you put the politics
So
aside, and you put the little kiddies that are trying to headhunt and trying to have seniority aside. Like it'd be nice to have that 24-hour server where you open
that
TeamSpeak and it's like, hey, there's a server going, man, perfect, I'm gonna hop in. Like
the statement that you just made is probably, and hold on a second, because I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here in.
pitter patter, get at her.
But that fucking statement that you just fucking made, I swear, take the ones that just wanna rise above and just want the rank and all that good shit. Take all of them out. But at the end of the day, it's still gonna be us. Like, it's still gonna be your main people. You're always gonna have your same main people, but you have those certain people that they're in it for a certain goal. They just want to grow. But me and Bill have had many conversations about that, to where you give someone a position of power and they disappear.
Yep, 100%.
There's an old saying. There's an old saying in business, and it goes like this, and this applies so much to what we're doing, because
I'm
you
gonna hit
give
the head,
power.
boys. I'll be right back.
Right? Is the absolute power corrupts absolutely. Right? Somebody could be as humble as pie, but as soon as you give them the authority over somebody else, they will seize that power and try to make the best of it. So, like I told you before, we've had we've had I have personally made decisions that I've been shit on and made to look bad. So, like, I'm not going to go down that road again. I learned from my mistakes. Now, I also know that I've missed opportunities, but once it's missed, it's over, right? Like, it's like a baseball player swinging at a ball and missing. He can't say, "Can you pitch that again?" Nope, that one counts. It's over. You've already ruined that
You
shot.
got 3 strikes, you're out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I will just say this: as slow as the progress is, we have stuck with the cause, and in what we're in November, so December, January, in 3 months, we will celebrate SAFR's 4-year anniversary. That's incredible to me.
It is.
Now, there's been a lot of changes.
To feedback off of what I said, though, Bill, was, we grow bigger. Yes, we do. I anticipate it. Yes, me and Steve live stream. I'm sure we're gonna get more live streamers in, and such. We're gonna start. We do the live streams and such. We're gonna have more people coming in and live streaming and such. There is a guy that joined from OCRP that is going to live stream events. I don't know who the hell he is. Honestly, I don't know. I don't watch his videos. There's a few people that I watch videos of. Matt Francis is a admin in SAFR. That was a conversation that, like, me and Spencer had last night, and I got some insight from Spencer. But so I didn't join SAFR for Matt Francis. Ace, at the time, one of our admins in URP, told me about SAFR. I'm not a Matt Francis fan, but playing with Matt Francis, yes, he's a down to earth guy. Playing in SAFR, and actually me and Steve being the 2 higher ranked officers in, not ranked, but kind of ranked, I guess. How would you describe that, Bill? Like, I mean, we're detective 2s at this point.
Yeah,
you
hold the rank. You hold the rank of detective 2. You are the 2 highest ranking officers in server.
So there's people that are below us, but it doesn't matter. Like, rank doesn't really matter. Which, even in URP, we do have the ranking system, but we don't really use our ranking system, like, for power. When I come into any server that I'm in, URP or SAFR, I'm just a member, and I'm just whatever I'm running that night. Whether it's a detective or I'm running plainclothes, I'm gonna treat myself as whatever the hell I am. But someone asked me in SAFR, were you not nervous that Matt Francis was in server? And I hope Matt Francis doesn't care that I'm calling him out in this podcast. But are you nervous playing with him in SAFR? And it was like, no, I'm not nervous to play with someone that's in OCRP in SAFR. I'm absolutely not nervous. I'm going to treat him the same way I would treat anyone else on a traffic stop. Or if I'm playing Civ and he pulled me over, I'm going to treat him the same exact way that whatever role I'm playing that night, I'm going to treat him the same exact way. I don't care that he has however many subscribers that he has. He's a down to earth dude. You get to know him and stuff, and you actually get to talk to him. Don't be nervous just because he's a YouTuber.
No.
I don't get that part. Why fanboy over somebody? I don't get that part. I do understand that he does have a certain amount of viewers, and he does bring members over to both communities because of it.
It's funny, man, you say that because I've known Matt since early DOJ days. We came up together, and I don't like you said, the fanboy thing. I'm not a fan of Matt, but we're great friends. I don't look at him like that. Like you
I hate
said,
to say I'm not a fan of Matt.
No, but
I hate to,
I'm not either. I'm not following
I
him. I'm
hate
not
to put
promoting
it.
him.
I
Yeah, no,
hate to
I
put
totally
it
get
that
it.
way that I'm not a
Yep.
fan of Matt.
Totally
But
get
I
it.
don't watch Matt
Because we know him on
videos.
a different level, right? We know him on a
I
different
don't
level.
watch Matt Francis videos.
For sure, yeah. No, he's a great dude.
I
He's
didn't meet.
humble.
I knew Matt was a part of OCRP. I knew that
Mhm.
part, but I didn't join SAFR for that. But when I met Matt, it was like, okay, yeah. But Matt also is a humble person, and he's not like flaunting "I'm better than you" kind of
Yeah,
person.
no.
Even
I
him
met him in
being in
DOJ.
even him being in an HA role within SAFR, and I've made it to where in OCRP that the top members in SAFR are also top members in URP. Like y'all's
Mhm.
roles are given in URP. Like everyone knows who y'all are. Everyone knows who we are. Just to kind of show that like we have a partnership and we're broke down into a certain level, and like just to show that okay, this is your leadership team here, this is your leadership team there, just because we are joint.
Yeah.
But there's no special privileges or whatever. But Matt's a super humble person and doesn't like throw around that he's an OCRP and he's better than somebody because he's in a community that's so large and has so many members and has so many. What they got rid of the number, right, Bill? They got rid of how many members or how many applicants are left. They got rid of that on the website, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
don't
think
get
they
to
did.
see how many people they're going through. But just to cover the whole Matt thing is,
You go.
and this is full transparency. Is a couple years ago, um, there was a vote, and we removed Matt from HA. Matt was here from day one. He worked his way. He eventually left, came back, worked his way back up. Now, there's been a lot of shitting on Matt over the course of the years, and some of it is rightfully deserved. I'm not gonna act like it's not. But I seen the evolution that has taken place. And like I was with Matt before he had 5 subscribers. So I'm
That's what I was
not
saying.
really.
We knew Matt from DOJ days. We all came up together. We don't know Matt as a streamer. We know Matt as a buddy. So it's a different. It's a different. Like to hear the fanboy thing is kind of funny to me. Like it's cool. He's got a fan base and everything, but like we've known him as the same rank in DOJ as we were. So it's like he's always kind
Yeah,
of been
and
there as a buddy, right?
Yeah, I like that.
like
Yeah.
in DOJ, I was there when Bugs and all them were there.
Ugh.
So that's anybody that watched the stream where I accidentally leaked Matt's phone number on a live stream. The only reason I did that was because Bugs was changing the name of the live stream because Bugs is a super moderator for Matt.
Yeah.
So he was fucking with me, and I was like, every time I look over, it's a different name. The stream is a different name. And then it started to get to be like he would add letters to make like the word golf. with like 4 L's or something. And I'm like, what is Gullah with friends? So, I told Matt, I'm like, hey, I'm just letting you know this could happen. And my whole intention of leaking his number was to change the last number. But I just read that son of a bitch right out of my phone, just straight off as it was. And he immediately ended the live stream, deleted the stream, deleted the recording of it, everything. He had 2 phone calls. He got 2 phone calls. One was from one of his moderators, and I don't know who the other was from. But yeah, I like on a personal level, I never had a problem with Matt. People have for various reasons, and it is what it is. Like I have had disagreements with what happened, but I never said fuck Matt. Like, you know what I mean? I never went that route. I was always like, when something happens, there's 2 sides to every story. Yeah, there's 2 sides to every story.
Yeah.
And as friends with everybody that's in the community, it's really hard for me to pick a side because then I'm like saying screw you to the next person. So I just go ahead.
So like having these people in from OCRP and such. So I just recently got somebody in from OCRP. I personally don't know who he is, but he is streaming in OCRP currently. But he's also starting to play into the smaller communities too, which I'm seeing a lot more of that from OCRP. Is that people are starting to reach out more to the smaller communities and trying to put the smaller communities out there. Uh, I think that the smaller communities deserve a recognition at some point. Like we're here, we're showing face, and we have aspirations. We want to grow just as well as y'all want to grow, and we have certain RP styles that we show. And I think that's where our median goes to where like we host the URP. Me as the leader
Dead
of
dog.
URP, we show more of a relaxed style, and then y'all SAFR has the more structured and more serious role play. Now, not to say that SAFR doesn't go relaxed. It happens. Tux, can you get on my camera view, please? There's styles that we have, but light has to be given somewhere. If I get an OCRP member in, and me and you've talked about this, Bill, and I was actually surprised, but it was in a negative aspect that it happened. And I'm this is where transparency kind of happens a little bit. There was something that happened in one of my live streams that was called out, and you called out. I'm not going to give his name, but it was a prominent OCRP member that called it out in one of my live streams to you of something going on. I was surprised that he actually watched that live stream. Now he was also a recommendation in that live stream, so I was kind of like taken at that point. I was like, "Whoa, maybe I was called out a little bit. Maybe we did have some similarities or something for that to be a recommendation in a video." And I think you know what I'm talking about, Bill.
Yeah, no, I completely remember it. And I was shocked that I
But
got the message about it too myself.
he was called out, and he was actually a recommendation in a certain live stream, like a recommendation for, hey, watch one of his videos in my live stream. So I can, not to kind of veer off, but at the same time, so we are doing the YouTube style podcast. I'm about to start moving us over to where we're still going to do live streams on YouTube, but I'm going to move us over to next day. And Bill, you actually gave me this kind of idea. We're going to move our podcast over to Spotify. Because we do have certain viewers and stuff that watch and things of that nature that just want to hear the audio and don't want to have to watch pull up a YouTube video. and have to listen
Mhm.
to it and take a
Mhm.
possible ad or whatever because YouTube just likes to do that, even if we're not monetized. But to hit on it big is that like the more people that come from a bigger community, I think is great for a small community. Having Matt in our community, in both communities, Matt's in our events Discord. We have 3. So me and Bill host 3 things. I host United Roleplay. Bill hosts SAFR. Without our members, there wouldn't be either of those. Yes, both are close knit at this point, but me and Steve and a couple of others live stream for a reason. Uh, we want to get the names out there and we want people to see it and be there. But we also have our events Discord or our events Discord and event server. So we run 3 servers on our VPS. And I say our VPS, we are under one umbrella. 3 servers are ran under our VPS. And I don't know if you want to hit any on that a little bit, Bill, but like we're hosting 3 different things.
Yeah,
We
I just think
cater
that
to 3 different things.
right, exactly that. It's a like we're giving the opportunity to everybody to get in and play and enjoy themselves. So, you
You
join
know, you just
SAFR.
want to host.
We have
You
the
just want to be
relaxed
in events. Just be an event.
like so SAFR. We have the the structured role play where we expect you to character develop, do all that stuff, and your role play should be serious. Cops and LEOs should be uh I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. They should be as professional as possible, and as civilians it's a little bit hard because you have to create scenes for cops to do. URP's role play is a little bit more relaxed where like the cops do things that SAFR we would look at it and go, that's it's a little bit of a gray area. Our events Discord is for members of both communities to get in and take parts of our event. Chris is working on an event, Race Wars. It's called. It's a drag racing event. He's put a lot of time and effort into that. Spencer just yesterday went in and added a bunch of custom stuff to the script, so that way we can control the script a little bit more, and there's more record keeping there. Uh, you guys have your guys' event. We host all of that on one event or on one server. That server is shut off until the days of the event, which is
So
Saturdays. So today,
I'm gonna cut
and
you off
we
just for. I'm gonna cut you off just for a second. So you talked about Chris's race war event. So on URP side, uh, our dev, which is working with SAFR devs as well, but our dev is working on prop hunt, bringing it into GTA. He's working on gun game from Call of Duty. He's going to bring
Nice.
that into GTA, and he's bringing in gun game from GTA. He's working on his own certain scripts to bring into our event server.
For viewers that are
All
watching,
going to
like,
be on the same server.
viewers that are watching, like, this is news to me. Like, I'm happy. He knows I'm happy because we play this game a lot.
Not to interrupt you, Bill. I just wanted to kind of hit like you hit on one of your a couple of your events. I just want to hit on like what we had in our events, even future wise, to kind of talk about because we host events every other week.
right.
There's an
So
event
we
going
host.
on 4 weeks.
Yeah,
a month.
every week is an event. So like it happens over and over and over again. But everything is forever evolving. Right. Like I'd like to
Right.
think SAFR is in a place right now that is where we want it to be. As a businessman, I'm not comfortable with where we're at. I'm looking 6 months ahead. But realistically, we're comfortable where we are, right? URP, same thing. It comfortable where you're at. Everything's working. We're attracting new members unilaterally, coming from both sides. They're joining URP, joining SAFR, joining SAFR, joining URP. And every 1 day a week, we suspend all belief and we just go out in a server and host an event and have fun. Unmitigated fun, probably at some points, but it's going to be fun. And I think that is what changes the scope of what we're doing. It's not all about role play. First off, this is something that you will not find anywhere else. Two communities working this close together to create something. What that something is, I would like to think is friendship and experience. There's going to be drama. There's going to be bullshit. It's going to happen. We just got to weed it out.
Yeah.
And for the most part, that weeds itself out because they find themselves in like nobody wants to talk to them situation, or they just get DA'd and they're like, fuck it, I'm out. So like that is what happens. But what we're doing, I think collectively, is what's it's weird to say this in 2023, considering when 5M came out, the number of communities. I think this is revolutionary. Like two communities
Hold on one
working
more
together.
time, Bill, because our drinks are about to get watered down. Chris, do you have a on ice fireball?
Yes, sir. I am ready.
Bill, do you have an on ice fireball?
I don't have ice, but it's cold. Does that count for something?
We're gonna start drinking the on ice at this point. We're gonna let Bill finish his spill. We're gonna move on to one more topic, and then we have the last topic.
Nice.
So we actually have one more. We actually have one more mix or one more on ice because we're gonna do Jack Fire on ice. That'd be the last one. Me and Hunter can drink this one pretty quick.
So what I would like to hear from Bill, is as he makes it over ice, I do want to have like a cheers moment, even though Bill is on cam. I do want to have everybody at the same point.
So something I noticed in the shots, and we should have told you guys in the shots that we do, just to bring this home, and you guys can probably respect it. Me and Hunter will do a demonstration, and then we'll do it together. So me and Hunter are gonna clink glasses, and then we're gonna tap the table. So when we tap the table, the tap the table part is for people that are gone that couldn't be here, and we wish they were here.
You said it perfect. Was people that couldn't be here, and to me that means people that weren't able to be here, whether or not they're still here with us, and I do mean here with us, versus those who are, it will not happen. They're not here with us.
We've lost quite a few buddies.
We have, yeah.
I'm sure that you guys can.
Sure have. With that. Same thing.
So,
yeah.
So the tap on the table is a respect thing. It's to say I'm sorry you're gone, or I'm sorry you couldn't be here, but I want to pay homage to you not being here. So when we tap the glass on the table, if you guys don't mind tapping your glasses on the table,
yeah, man,
just out of respect.
And this could go with, not even just us. This would go with, Chris. I know you're on camera, so it's easier to say, but Bill also, it would be the people who you want to be here with you. And that's the best thing I can say with.
And you know what, on this one, since this is the last on ice drink that they're going to have with us, because we're going to do the Jack Fire next. If you guys want to pay a little bit of homage to someone or anything when we tap the glass on the table and say, you know
what, man, it's Remembrance Day here and it's Veterans Day there, so I think that's a great opportunity to pay homage.
Perfect day. Yeah.
So if you want to talk about somebody that is important in your life or isn't in your life anymore that you wish were still here, feel free to pay respect if you don't mind doing so over camera or VC.
Yeah, I'll say, Chris.
I'm gonna take my monitor here.
Chris, I'm gonna let you go first if you don't mind.
Wait, Chris.
Bill, did you call homage?
No, Bill? I said I was gonna take my monitor when you guys were going up.
So Bill, I will say this, since you're just on audio, if you want to call homage to anybody you can think of, as we clink,
we'll all talk about somebody.
Okay, yeah, everybody, clink
so Chris,
together.
You go first.
Yeah, Chris, we'll wait on you on cam.
All right. So homage to my
Yeah.
grandmother and my late uncles.
Late uncle. Okay.
Homage to my grandmother. She was my best friend.
Bill, I'll give you this one.
I give it back to my grandfather. Man, was the toughest man I ever knew. Didn't take the he wouldn't take shit off nobody, but he would love you unconditionally.
All right. So for me, it would be my best friends. And after all is, we always drop it down to the table.
Done. I like it, boys. I like it.
All right. So I will say this: BB did something unexpected. Normally, when we do over ice, we don't normally just take the whole thing.
I took it as homage. I took it as a shot.
I mean, like I said, normally we don't. BB knows this. It's not something that we don't disagree with. With when we say we take the whole shot. If you want to, go ahead.
The people that the people that we just gave homage to is a big thing.
I
A big
will
thing to
follow.
me.
Yeah.
So I lost my grandmother back in 2015, and that one was my best friend. And if any of you guys want to get background a little bit, but that was my best friend. So like me taking a whole shot, I always hope that I'm the best man that I could be, and that she's looking down on me and saying, "Hey, you're a great father," because my dad wasn't always there. You're a great father. You're a great best friend to somebody. You're a great husband. You're doing well in your life, and I hope that she's looking down and she's watching that. She supported me in any dream that I wanted to do. Uh, YouTube was ended up becoming one of those things. Uh, or these videos right here, having you guys on this podcast right now get the most views. Y'all are the most interesting aspect on my YouTube right now. Is having you guys.
Thanks, man.
So
Appreciate
me
that.
streaming United Roleplay, me streaming SAFR. People would rather hear me and Hunter and you guys talk than to watch my gaming videos. I mean, we have sat steady at 5 viewers is what we're at right now. But when we first started, we were at 12 at one time. Uh, it's not a lot. I'm a very humble person. That's a lot for me. For 12 people to watch me and say, "I want to hear you guys talk," and me and Hunter try to grow this every time we do it. We try to do something different to make it a little bit better. Hence, like we added Bill's logo, and we could have had that in on the first time Bill was here, but we didn't think of it. But we feed off of each other, and then with like Chris, uh, we had made a certain deal with Chris, uh, and Chris did offer to help with the deal because the deal didn't completely happen. But why do that? I want to have Chris on here again at some point.
So I would like to be, full transparency as we always are with even our server. I also want to say we're full transparency with our YouTube viewers. If you're watching YouTube, Spotify, or Facebook, because
All videos will be available tomorrow on Spotify.
So we are adding, as you just heard, between me and him both.
BB is dedicated to have everything added on Spotify tomorrow.
As you know, me and him, we're the sole comparissors of our podcast, of Two Drunks in a Bottle, or our podcast. We want to make sure we're available to everybody, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, or Spotify at the moment. And as long as we're able to grow it, we'll keep on going. But right now, that's the only three factors that we're hitting at. But I do want to say that, we're trying to hit everybody that can. And it's one of those points is where we're literally throwing out shout outs to everybody who's involved right now. So anybody who's able to watch whatever platform, go for it. Basically, we do want to hit everybody, even the viewers who are watching on YouTube who commented of us live. We definitely read comments, and BB is a sole proprietor of this because he reads comments. I do too. Me and them both hit each other back and forth as whenever comments hit. If we don't see whether it be him or me, we definitely hit like, hey, so and so commented. We're gonna hit
Tonight was a great thing.
yes.
Chris and Bill both were in the comment section as the live stream was happening to
Love
keep
that.
it from being interrupted. I'm a big interrupter. I interrupt people in the middle of something they're doing, and I'm like,
I'm pretty
whoa,
bad for that too. Yeah, I'm bad for that too.
we've got a comment here, and I just want to make a big deal out of a comment. But I feel that like your comments matter, and they should be made
They do.
big deal.
They do.
I enjoy that aspect. I enjoy reading the comments, and I enjoy reading the comments and hearing y'all's answers and such. You know,
What else? What
like
else y'all
here we
got?
go, Doggo bomb the podcast. Hunter has a damn dog. This is Tux. So you see his one little white spot right there. That's Tux. Oh, he's gonna hold his head up now. That's Tux. So like
Put his head up so you see his
yeah,
other
thanks,
white
Chris.
spot.
Yeah, he has a big white spot under his neck. That's why he got the name Tux.
Yeah, I'm not sure if y'all can see him perfectly, but yeah, he's here.
So that was my first dog. Do I have time to give background on that, or
We're running it, yeah.
I know we're running a little over time. So
Just a little, not a lot.
that was my first dog living by myself. I got him as a puppy, and his nickname is Doggy Destructo. He is no longer known as Doggy Destructo because he no longer destructos things.
Yeah.
That's the most chill dog that you could ever have. He doesn't like babies. I have a baby.
He's like an elephant
But
with a rat.
He'll avoid the baby all day long.
Yeah, he's like an elephant with a rat.
Bill, what is the title of Remington? What is his title again?
He's the deputy director of roleplay for San Andreas First Responders.
Shut the fuck up, Toby.
He is the director of roleplay.
I can't disagree with Bill because he literally is.
Look, my wife has reached out just to give aspect, and this is going to make Bill an asshole because Bill didn't respond.
Great.
So, this is now Bill's Bill's an ass in general.
He is.
But
yeah.
Hey, I'm not gonna hide it. I am an asshole. My mom told me when I was a kid. She said, if being an asshole is the only thing you have to hold on to in life, you better hold on real tight. I'll be goddamned if I'm giving that up.
Right.
My mom told me the same thing, so it's kind of weird. But so my wife messaged Bill and said, "Hey, Remy wants to talk to you, Bill," and he left Remy on red for 2 days, and still has not VC'd with Remy. My son loves to be at the computer. He loves
why you just throw me under the bus? Just right under the bus. He just outed me.
Completely. I'm gonna do it. He loves the lighted keyboard. He loves that our mouses are lighted. He loves sitting at actually specifically my computer because my PC completely lights up. It's not water injected, but it still lights up and throws every color under the rainbow. That computer, I can tell you, heats up that damn room.
It does.
Just that one PC heats up. We're gonna be warm this winter.
So
we're gonna be warm this winter.
I will agree with BB. It does definitely warm the room up. Yeah.
But Remington loves to be behind the camera. Absolutely loves. And then when Bill deputized my kid and said that he's part of SAFR, like, hey, that's handshake right there, dude. If that goes to show you like how close our lifestyles are, that I can show you my kid and put my kid in front of a camera, and I don't care. My kid could be here right now. I try to keep him away from these types of events, uh, because I do get a little inebriated. Hunter gets a little inebriated.
The fact that you're able to
I,
say inebriated, a little bit slow, but you're able to say inebriated means you're
I,
just a little
We're
bit
getting
drunk.
there. We're getting there.
but I'd rather him be safe. Now, Jess doesn't drink, but it's still that same thing that we would rather both parents be sober if he's here, to where I can make rational decisions.
What is this point? I would say he's not here, right?
He is not here.
Yeah.
Remington is not here.
Yeah.
Bill missed his chance. He wanted to talk to Bill, and Bill wouldn't let him vote on what he wanted to vote on as deputy director. Bill wouldn't let
Hey,
him
look,
vote on it.
I'm just going to throw this out there. Democracy is a fickle bitch. So
I'm just telling you, he had a vote as pretty much VP, and you didn't let him vote on it.
But
you
So
know what?
I want you became a communist nation at that point.
But right, it's right here, Bill. Go for it, Bill.
I just want to throw this out to you, Bronson. And this is on a
Yep.
real talk right now.
Yeah.
4 months ago, we made an agreement, partnership between me and you. I did you a solid.
It's been longer than 4 months.
Whatever. It's been 5 months, 4 months, 5 months, something like that.
It's 4 or 5. Yeah, that's right.
Almost 6.
So
something like that.
Based off of the partnership, give me your thoughts, positive and negative. This is live to the world.
This is live. So, am I speaking from a Bronson standpoint, or am I speaking from a community standpoint? Ask you that question.
I think it's both the same. Okay, so let me preference my questions.
Can I give you one of each?
Now hold on. Let me just break it down to you this way: is on the what has been done aspect and what is continuing to be done. You know, from like SAFR support, SAFR's lack of support, SAFR's opinion, my opinion to you, my advice to you, everything. Just shoot from the hip.
So,
I'll finish.
So from my standpoint specifically, so I'll break it down into each. From my standpoint, as
first time you met Bill,
from the minute I met you and the minute we met, we created this partnership. It's a completely 100% positive aspect. I didn't want to veer from it. I still don't want to veer from it. I enjoy for one, our business relationship is included in our friendship aspect. So it's so much that I could literally text you and ask you, "Hey, how's life going?" But I can also ask you, and it's the same thing as you take constructive feedback on like SAFR, and we go in between. So from a me standpoint, 100%, I'm down for everything that has happened. I'm happy it happened. I'm glad it worked the way it worked. I'm glad that I reached out, and I was the one to make the partnership. I think that I was probably the best candidate for the partnership. Out for community side, there has been things that
Growing
overall as a
pains.
community, as far as a community standpoint, we've had unconstructive feedback. So it was the community voted on it, and they said, "Yeah, this is a good thing." So, but we've had pushback to where we've had certain members that were like, "Nah, I voted for it," but then they automatically were like, "Oh nope, I'm against it." Uh, those guys have weeded themselves out. Honestly, Bill, you can attest for that. Uh, the ones that have voted against SAFR, and it wasn't for voice of BB, it wasn't voice of SAFR. They voted themselves out. They voted for the partnership. The partnership has been great. Y'all have given great advice. Even before our VPS failed on us, and if anyone here doesn't know, the VPS failed. We had our own separate VPS. We weren't under one umbrella. But the goal for 2024, and Bill made this happen, was that we pushed a lot of fucking shit. Like Bill can attest for this. We pushed a lot of shit. As what I sit at URP, I asked a lot, a whole lot from Bill. I sat at my table and said, "Guys, we have to do something, or we're gonna die." I messaged that same statement to Bill, and Bill can vouch for that. I said, "Bill, I'm about to shut down," and Bill was like, "What do you mean you're about to shut down?" And I was like, "Dude, my VPS just crashed," and I sent him all the messages from the host of my VPS. Now, me and Bill had every intention of we're going under one umbrella. And transparency wise, my community voted on going under one umbrella, but I was like, Bill, we're about to shut down. Like, I'm about to go under. We're going underwater, and we are about to crash. And Bill was like, "No, you're not about to crash. You can use my server as your server, and you can continue to grow." Uh, they were already working on the website and things of that nature. Madium and Spencer, and they were working on things to get us back up and running. Well, we had to expedite it, and Bill made sure that we expedited that. So, from a community standpoint, I I feel that it was a great opportunity, and we're grateful. Uh, if you get into individual members, I give 10% of 90% of our members. I give you 10%. We have, let me look how many members. I think we're 54, but let me double check before I give a statistic.
Yeah, words. That's all, folks.
Yeah. Inebriated. There we go. We're back to inebriated, right? Fucking give me a break. So total 29, 39, 30, 42. So out of 45 members, which includes SAFR staff, out of those 45 members, I give it 5%. I don't even give it, I give it 2%. 2%. There's 2 members. I can't do the fucking math. Bill, can you do that math on however many members we have divided by 2? You can't divide it by 2. But
Yeah,
there's two.
it's like pi times 2 equals 6 minus XYZ. Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah,
You know.
but there's only a certain amount of people, and we handled the problem of what the drama was. There's only so many people that weren't on board, but this has been such a blessing. And this isn't like an SAFR blessing podcast. This is a Chris podcast. Like, this is a Chris podcast. This is
What do you
supposed to
got
be
for
all
me?
about
You
Chris.
got you got any? That's all good, man. That's all good.
Hey, look,
I like it. I like it, man.
I gotta call it here
but
soon. But I do have one question. I don't mean to cut you off, Bronson. Oh, go ahead.
So to veer off of what you asked, Bill, I'm gonna ask 2 more questions. So the first question is, well, for one, I was waiting on the wife to bring more ice.
I started that. You never started. Yeah.
Full transparency. Open
Please
mics.
stand by.
You were on the shot. I was on the glass.
Did we start that?
You didn't. I
finished mine.
This just turned into 2 drunks in an argument.
I pulled in.
What's happening right now?
I pulled up.
Never restarted that.
I feel
2 drunks minus ice. 2 drunks minus ice.
Anyways, so for one, I'm gonna ask the next question. I'm gonna go pour the next ice because I don't know what happened with that.
Viewers, y'all saw I poured this a while back.
Absolutely don't know what happened with that.
2 drunks in an argument.
Is that what we need to rename this? 2 drunks in an argument? 'Cause,
this just turned into a domestic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're
2
about to call
drunks in need of
STD on
ice.
this shit.
2 drunks in need of ice. Okay, what's the question, man?
Can I have advice? Did he pour this and I finished that, but he poured another one? Because I'm
that
lost
the next
at
question?
that point.
Yeah, he absolutely re-poured a new one.
Hey, do you guys know that we still have a event to go to? Like, did you guys know that?
But Bronson, I hate to break
events.safrgaming.com.
No.
Did you know that?
I don't know.
No. I will say this though, Bronson.
Wait, was I not supposed to call that out, Bill?
No, not really. But I can say
not
that
really. But it's only shut down on one day. It's only shut down and only open on one day. But I can't call it out.
I can say this is he did pour that after you both finished your drinks. So yes, he is.
I did not see you pour that.
Thank you, Bill.
I did not. He never. Did you ever pass me that?
I didn't. I filled it on my own.
Did you ever tap my shoulder and say I poured? I just text Jess and said, "Where's the ice?" I just text Jess and said, "Where's the ice?" Because I could have swore there's a bowl of ice right here at my feet.
Ladies and gentlemen watching, this is what happens when alcohol takes effect live.
So Bill, I'm giving you this one. Yeah. Bill,
I thought me and Hunter agreed that the last.
All right.
He was like, "We're skipping the last this."
All right. What's the next question?
All right, we're gonna skip everything else. Yes. Me and Hunter will catch up after this podcast. So your next question is
speed round.
What made you interested in video games? So
all right,
now I want you to take into consideration. Do not give me a current video game. What got you interested, like childhood and so forth, but do not give current time on it.
I got an easy answer for that. So
we have a last question that is going to feed in.
It's like what got you started with?
What got you started in video games?
Back in the day,
for me, it was. I'm just gonna name a few games here where it all started, man. It was.
Go for it, Chris.
It was 2001 Grand Theft Auto 3. Went over to my cousin's house, visiting them in Ottawa. watching them play that, being super interested in
Canada.
Okay.
that. Roller Coaster Tycoon, The Sims,
Ooh.
Minecraft, all games that are at your own pace, whatever you want to do. There's no real end goal, but it started with Grand Theft Auto 3, and I remember being like 11 years old playing that game and going to the fire hall and stealing the fire truck and running my own fire calls at 11 years old. And then from there,
Okay.
it turned into Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5, and then here we are today. But I like the sim games, man. I'm into the sim games, kind of really leisurely at your own pace. Bill?
So I have two, but the one that actually got me into it was Nintendo, like the old cartridge Nintendo, long years ago. There was a game called Bubble Bobble. It was a 2-player game. Me and my mom would sit down and play that.
Yep.
And it was like you blew bubbles, you jumped on top of the bubbles to try. It was like Pac-Man meets Bubble Warrior of some sort. It was just something that like it'll always be in my mind because it was something that like me and my mom never had nothing in common, but that was the one thing we had in common. Um, but the game that
Yeah.
actually like set it to the point of where I wanted to play games was well, okay, so it was Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Damn, that's going back.
Is when I was like, I need to do this. Like, I like this because now I had something that I could play by myself, earn stats, get rewards, upgrade stuff. Like, it was
Remember
that point of
you remember 1080 snowboarding? That just reminded me of 1080 snowboarding, like
yep,
Tony
yep.
Hawk, like that
Snow.
that same.
What was yours, Hunter? It was Sean White. Sean White snowboard.
Later in the day, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, no, I was just saying, like, you know, the Bubble Bobble with me and my mom. That's what got me into games, and then that's what made it because there was no such thing as multiplayer games back then. The multiplayer game was controller 1, controller 2. Right? There was no online, none of that shit existed. So like the fact that my mom enjoyed the game and I enjoyed the game, I was like, this is cool. And then Tony Hawk Pro Skater was like the first game that I played, and I'm like, I have a goal. I have something to reach for. I have to try to get points to get this. You know, there was checkpoints and certain things. So that was kind of that was the first thing. Now the most important game in my life that I ever played was Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy, yeah.
And there's one scene in particular where Sephiroth kills Ares. That was the only time in my life that I actually physically cried during a video game because I was so invested in that storyline that it affected me. So I was like, this is. And then of course, you know, it went. They took the storyline and they developed the entire Final Fantasy series completely backwards to what I was used to, and now I can't even play the game and go, this is not Final Fantasy.
We're gonna go ahead and do.
What's your guys' transition question?
All right. So I'm glad you brought Final Fantasy in, Bill. For me, when I was growing up, Final Fantasy was definitely what was on the spot. I grew up with, to me it was like an uncle of effect. He was my uncle. He started gaming before I ever did. He had for me personally, it was a PS2 when I was, old enough. He had a PS2. That was my, gravitation to gaming, I guess you would say. It was more of I guess Ratchet and Clank would be my better experiences onto gaming. But what I do believe was Grand Theft Auto was my go-to. It was one of those games that I wasn't able to play type things, or better yet, what I shouldn't have played, but I did. So for me, like Grand Theft Auto is what got me into gaming. It was what got me hooked onto it.
Agreed.
But Ratchet and Clank, it was something that was first introduced because I was younger at the time. It's what got me into gaming was Ratchet and Clank. I can't deny that. But as far as to leading me into gaming, it was more Grand Theft Auto because at that time, Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto 4 was coming out.
No,
No, so
Grand Theft Auto 4 is Grand Theft Auto 4 came out a long time. It was Grand Theft Auto 3, San Andreas, or it was Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas. Those were the three that, like, in order, or San Andreas.
The other game that I
and
left
then
out too
4.
was
So-
fucking Sim City, man. Sim City
See,
classic.
I'm gonna hit. I'll hit you on one that make you remember here in a sec.
So like for me though, like Grand Theft Auto 3 was the very first experience that I've had on Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 4 was the next experience for me. Was where I was able to integrate on playing it, was stuck on it for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
The ones before it, as BB progressed was, San Andreas. San Andreas was another one. San Andreas I was stuck on. But between Grand Theft Auto 3 and Grand Theft Auto 4, those two hit me more than the others. San Andreas was the biggest one between those. But other than that, that was about it. It was Grand Theft Auto 3, San Andreas, and Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah.
But the fourth one was my biggest one at that time. San Andreas was, I don't know how to put it. It was a experience. When San Andreas came out, it was like, okay, definitely. 4 was definitely a bigger one for me. But I grew up on, 3. 3 was my biggest one because I think at that time, I want to say was the third person aspect. I want to say the ones before that was, you're over
It's
camera,
all
you're watching
bird's
yourself.
eye view. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
They were overhead. They were action.
Yeah.
Arcade style.
So for me, like
the style, it was arcade style.
So for me, like it was the difference when you come to that with San Andreas. It was like, okay, this is where I'm real at. The fourth one come out, and I was like, I'm really loving this because to me, like when you go through aspects of each game, the fourth one was the best one up to that point because you had so many features and all that. But San Andreas is what really hit me on aspects.
So for me, it was we grew up on in the '90s the PlayStation 1. That was the biggest console. We had it brand new. I was born in '95. The PS1 came out in what year did the PS1 come out?
Probably around 2000, 2001.
No, that's when the PS2 came out was 98, 2001. So when the PS2 came out.
I think the PS2 came out around 2001.
PS2
2000,
came out, I'm
2001.
pretty sure, in 99.
No.
1994, the PlayStation 1 came out. So I was born in 1995.
Wow.
I was born in 1995. The PS2.
2000. March
Damn.
4th, 2000.
March 4th, 2000? Yep, October 26th, 2000 is what I got.
Huh.
March
I
4th
guess
is when it
screw-
came out in Japan. March 4th is when it came out in Japan. October 26th, 2000 is when it came out in the US. So I grew up on PS1. So Hunter grew up on PS1, but he wasn't going PS1 days when he was thinking of games and like what is your what piqued you into the interest of video games. So it would be a array of games, but the one that piqued my interest the most, that grew me into the sandbox era, into the Grand Theft Auto era, before like the third person Grand Theft Auto, was Driver. Uh,
Mhm.
so
Driver was the
P-
pretense to GTA first person.
Yeah.
so PS1 days, you had 2 discs for the first Driver. Uh, you had 2 discs for Driver 2 as well. But literally, you got to a certain point on the first Driver, and you had it said, "Hey, you have to enter another disc," and you had to literally pull it out, pull your second disc out, put it
Yep.
in the console, and you got to continue as long as you had a memory card. That was an issue for people, uh, that they didn't have memory cards and such. You get into like Driver 2, where it came out in PS2. Driver 2 was still PS1. You had Driver 2, it was still 2 discs. Uh, and then, so I grew up on the Driver series, which is what introduced me into the Grand Theft Auto series, but they weren't as in depth. It wasn't like MA. Those were what, TA games. Those were teenage games. I think that's what they
Mhm.
were rated. The first one wasn't really my favorite. Second one, you were able to get out of your car. It was more of a sandbox game. Uh, Driver, as it progressed in its series, went back to its old school days to where you couldn't get out of your car and run around and do sandbox things. Once you got to like San Francisco and stuff. But yeah, definitely my overall, because the question was what got you interested in the video game. Uh, I'm a sandbox guy. I like to be able to run free and do what I like
That's
to
what I
do.
was saying too, man. Same thing. The Tycoons, The Sims, Grand Theft Auto, being able to like control your own story. That's exactly where I'm at with
So I
Yep.
games.
I agreed with you on like Roller Coaster Tycoon. That was a
Yeah, man.
favorite. I have
Sim
played
City.
Sims. I have played Sims since the first one. Uh,
Mhm.
I wish Steam would fucking get controller support, or not Steam. EA Games on PC would get controller support for Sims, because I cannot play Sims on a keyboard. I
Mhm.
wasn't taught to play Sims on a keyboard. Uh, I was completely controller taught. I've always been a PlayStation guy, and I reached out, and Hunter can tell you I spent a shit ton of money on my PC. Uh,
Mm.
I had bought my gaming laptop 2 years ago at this point. Bought my gaming laptop and was like, okay, I got to pick my gaming laptop and was like, okay, this is what it is. And Hunter's like, you got a decent gaming laptop. Uh, to where I was like, I want to build it a little bit better. I want to be able to play whatever game I want to play for a few years without having to upgrade anything. And I picked my specs on my gaming PC and was like, okay, I'm gonna build it to where I don't have to upgrade it at all. And I claim, and Hunter can vouch for it, I claim my PC to be a high end PC. I built it to be a high end PC
Yeah.
to
It
where I
was.
don't have to upgrade it for a very, very long time. I have a good graphics card, I have a good processor. Uh, I'm probably at this point on my PC I hope 2 gens ahead. That's what I built it to be, was 2 gens ahead.
Yeah.
Uh, so anyways, I'm gonna move on. Everyone answered that question, right?
Yeah, I was about to say we have
Yeah.
about 6 minutes till we hit 3 hours on a 1 hour podcast.
I'm gonna I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give the last question. This is the last question that we asked in the squad podcast. It is a question that is always asked. We ask it in the end of every one of these, outside of the last one. I think, Bill, we've already. Tell me if we haven't asked you this when we ask it. I'm gonna let Hunter ask it because I always ask.
So that question would be was what was the last game that you have played or have played the most within the past duration, within your memory for us?
Still don't think you asked that correctly. Would you like me to ask that question?
To,
What is your most current favorite video game at this current point in time? Because I don't know why he didn't ask it the same way I would ask it, because I ask it the same way every time.
Yes.
What is your most current video game at this time? What is your most favorite video game? Doesn't matter if it's console. Doesn't matter if it's PC. What is your
I'm
most
going. I'm
favorite
gonna.
video game?
Well, I'm gonna go with a game none of you ever heard of. It's called Chrono Trigger.
Currently, that's your favorite video game?
Yes, and it is well over 30 years old. Yes, that is my favorite
Can you
video game of all time.
explain what that video game is?
It was the pretense to what Final Fantasy became. So it's
So
a
I
role play
played some
game.
so I did play some Final Fantasy. So when you got into 7, I played PS1 Final Fantasy and up to PS2 Final Fantasy, and I quit playing Final Fantasy.
Yeah, they're broken. Then they ruined it. Final Fantasy VII was the last best Final Fantasy they ever made. Chrono Trigger was essentially the same way. It was a top-down view. It was a go through doors, then the next room would appear, so you wouldn't see it until you went through the door. So it was kind of like a gated thing. But it had a storyline, it had a plot, everything. You followed the storyline. It was also sandbox. You could go do your own thing, but you still had to come back to the storyline. So that is, to me, Chrono Trigger. If you look it up, if you watch videos on Chrono Trigger from, I don't even know when it was. Don't look at the newest one. Look at like I don't even know. It would be like Super NES maybe. It was a long time ago, but that is probably the best game that I ever played. Just because you could play that game forever. There was carnivals in the game that you could just randomly go to and spend hours doing stuff at. So it was enjoyable. Plus, it had a good storyline.
You're good, Bill. Keep on.
No, that's it. That's really all I got. Chrono
Yeah,
Trigger is the best game I ever played in my life.
I think for me, man, I'm not really a big gamer. I told you guys kind of the games that I got into, but I'm still stuck on the RP. I'm still stuck on Grand Theft Auto. I'm super pumped for Grand Theft Auto 6. It's 2
So
2+ years out.
Hold
Yeah.
on, Chris. Did you not have? Okay, for one, I'm gonna ask you this question personally. I know how old Bill is.
Don't you do it, son of a gun.
I know how old Bill is. I'm not gonna give away Bill's age. How old are you, Chris?
I'm 33.
If you don't mind giving away your age.
33, man.
So, did you not have a? Let me think of this before you completely answer like your gaming thing. Did you not have a Nintendo Sega?
Yeah, I had Sega. Yeah, I had Sega. Road Rash, Sonic the Hedgehog. I had all that growing up. Yeah.
Did you have a PS1?
Don't think I had PS1.
Did you have PS2?
I don't think I had PS2 either, man. I definitely had PS3 for sure.
You didn't have the fat body PS2?
No, man. Wasn't really big into games, man. Like, not really.
So you growing? Oh, okay. So I'm gonna sidetrack for a second. So you growing up?
We got to make a quick second out of it.
What did you growing up have? Like we're on time at this point. We
Yeah.
are.
We're well off time. We're on 3 hours out of 1 hour.
Yeah, we're
We are well
almost
off
3
time.
hours. I apologize for that, but this podcast is worth it. What did you have growing up?
It pretty much got into it around PC time, man. Roller Coaster Tycoon, Sim City. Those are the big games on PC, and then eventually got the PS3, the PS4. Got into that kind of stuff like the Grand Theft Auto 3,
All right,
4.
so what was your all time favorite game, or what is your all time like current or previous game?
I'm probably gonna have to go with. I'm probably gonna have to go with the Sim City or Roller Coaster Tycoon, like the originals, man, like on PC. That was definitely my thing growing up when I was like early teens, 11, 12, 13. PC games like that.
So
For
you don't
sure.
do like City Skylines now? Like
No,
Steve's a big
man.
City Skylines guy.
Even Bill
Like
knows I don't
Decoy
indulge into
NDA.
new games. I don't indulge into
He's
like new
big
games too
into
often.
those. He said the second City Skylines is a disappointment for him.
City
It is
Skylines is a good
in
game,
the
but it
Xbox.
is absolutely unplayable. Like it is. City
Well,
Skylines is the
but
shits.
the second one,
No,
he
I
said
mean
they released it way before they should have. That's on the Xbox Game Pass. So me and Hunter play a lot of day one games. We'll hit day one games on another episode. Definitely, we're gonna hit day one games. I want to
Definitely.
do. I want to do a.
City.
I'll do a whole
Before
podcast on. I'll do a whole podcast on Friday 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you're down to do that,
before
Yeah.
we
we
go
just got to
too
figure a
far
way
here,
to
I
do it.
I just want to say that this is my personal opinion. City Skylines is the drizzling shits of video games. That is like somebody's poor attempt to create SimCity. It is the drizzling
All right.
shits. Anybody that enjoys that game, grab a piece of sandpaper, pull up a porn video, and just get to business. That is about the same enjoyment you're gonna get. That is the worst game ever created.
What did he say? Keep going, Bill. Decoy NDA said, "Keep going, Bill. Won't mind as usual." In parentheses.
It's
So you get
the worst
you
game.
gave
I'm not gonna keep I'm not gonna keep
you
going
gave
because we're already.
well no you gave your opinion on it. He asked your opinion and you gave it. So like you don't
It's
have
a
to keep
drizzling
going.
shits.
But
Yeah, I'd rather spend my money. I'd rather donate my money to a real cause like breast cancer, aside from buying that game.
so
I'm just saying
Hunter,
it is the drizzling
what?
shits. Anybody listening to this, do not buy City Skylines. Do
So
not do it. It's a
so
waste of your money.
Chris, what was your most current favorite video game?
Most current favorite video game. I don't know, man. I got into a little bit of Daisy, tried that out. Got into a little bit of oh, what's that fucking space game called? I can't remember the name of it now. I'm gonna have to look it up real quick.
Bill, have we asked you
No
that
Man's
question?
Sky.
What your
No
most
Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky? That's the one where you're in space and it's kind of like
Yeah,
still a
I got into
sandbox
that a
game.
little
Yeah.
bit, but it didn't
That's still
stick, man.
the sandbox game. That's the
Yeah.
one Goose been playing. Like I hate to bring up Goose, but that's the one that Goose been playing.
Believe so.
That goose has
It's
been cooked.
sandbox. It's still like sandbox style.
Yeah, it's
All
like
right,
sandbox space. Yeah.
Bill,
That's pretty
have we
much it for
asked
me,
you the
man.
question of your most current recent video game? What was
Mm-hmm.
yours again?
Wait, now you're confusing me. My most recent game that I enjoyed playing.
No, like
Yes,
you already said it.
What
he
did
had
I
already
don't know what
said
I.
it. All right, so he already answered the question. I'm reiterating it this time. So the first question was your most interested. What got you interested in video games? So that's already been answered between the four of us.
Yep.
Then
I think
asked.
we all answered all of them.
No, we haven't answered all of them. The last question was, what is your most current favorite video game at this time? That's always the last question. What is your most recent favorite video game? And I still think you did answer that, and Chris answered his.
So I mean,
So
if it's
what's
my
yours?
go, mine would be the Far Cry series. I'm always
Bill, if we
continuing
didn't
on
hit
that.
on yours, hit on it last.
Yeah.
Pretty good. We answered that one, yeah.
So, I mean, with mom would definitely be the Far Cry series. I'm always going through all of those, trying to play through those consecutively, which is starting from early on to the newest one. To me, like those haven't lost its accessibility. I've always liked them. Every game to me would they always add more and more to it. From the first one that I played, which was Far Cry 3. I haven't played any of the ones before it. The third one to me, it brought interest. The ones after that, it was a continuation. Uh, Definitely something that I believe.
That's your most current favorite?
Yeah.
Far Cry 3?
No, not Far Cry 3, but the Far Cry series.
Just in general, Far Cry series?
Yeah.
You have you played the most current?
I haven't built my way.
I know time is like a thing with us.
Yeah.
To where it's like we don't really have time to play a story game. The last story game I played was RDR2. That was the last story that I actually got to play completely through and got to experience the complete thing.
So for mine, if I'm going with what I'm playing so far, would be the fifth one, because they have made a sixth one, Far Cry 6. I haven't touched it up on it, but the fifth one, is what I'm working on, and I'm working my way to the sixth one.
I was almost done with the fifth one.
Yeah, so
that was the American.
Yeah.
One, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was almost done with that one.
So like the fifth one, like after all the ones that I played, like they have definitely made a continuance of progression. Is the best way as I can probably think of it. Was they keep adding to it. The sixth one I'm hoping is going to be the same effect, is because they keep growing. You know, to me, like Far Cry was one of those games that they knew that was different. There's a lot of games out there that, they always say, here's the newest game, play it, whatnot. And it's some type of different aspect. To me, Far Cry, they had their own little category almost. They had an idea of what they wanted to do. They continue with it. And to me, to make that many games off of, going through 6 games and be able to make it a different category each and every time, that to me, that says something. To me, that's an actual game you can play, because some people will say, "Hey, I like the fourth one. I like the fifth one. I like the sixth one." To me, I never played the sixth one, but everyone has their own favorite Far Cry.
So, Decoy Andy aka Steve, says that his most current favorite video game is Starfield. So I'll give you a minute to kind of, if you want to type in chat of why that's your favorite, I'll read it out of why that's your favorite video game. If anyone else in live chat has a favorite video game currently and why it's your favorite, give the video game and also give why it's your favorite,
Yeah.
and I'll read that out in chat.
I just want to jump in there real quick.
We are
yeah, I was
about
going
to
to say
wrap
I
this
have to
up.
call
I
it
have
here.
mine. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, I'm just
No,
about there
I was
too.
just saying,
Actually,
like, yeah, it's almost
It's
quarter
almost
after
time.
12 in the morning.
I'm gonna be the last video game, and we're gonna wrap this up.
I
So
think
go
I
ahead,
probably
Bill.
have like another 10 minutes or so, but like no more than 10 minutes I got to get going here soon.
Yeah.
We're almost pushing 3.5 hours, so we gotta wrap her
Yeah.
here soon.
I think out
It was
of the
good
four of
though,
us,
man.
we
It
all
was
agree
good.
on that.
It was good.
Yeah.
We're only
It was good.
we're only 2 hours 45 minutes. We're not 3.5 yet. We have some technical difficulties, but that's included in time.
Yeah.
We're almost 3 hours in.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I'm good. I guess we're waiting on Steve to reply.
Yeah, I'm good too, man.
Well, so my favorite was my most current favorite would probably have to be, and I've only played it a few times, but I've been happy with it. Was from going PS3 days and playing Payday 1 to Payday 2 sucks to having Xbox Game Pass and having Payday 3 day 1. Uh Payday 3 brought me back to Payday 1 day. You still haven't played it with me, Hunter.
I
Like
haven't.
that's something that we have to play.
Yeah.
You'll get the same effects. It went back to old school days. You had to go through and you have to pick and choose when you're gonna rob the bank. Like you had to pick your perfect time. You have to seek it out.
Right.
You have to scope and you have to be able to go across the whole entire bank and not get caught. And get to choose. And you can at this point in Payday 3, you can dress as other characters. So you can dress as a security guard and get a job as a security guard and get to scope out the bank as a security guard
Wow.
and be able to see things that you wouldn't have seen
Right.
behind the scenes. But you're also still gonna get to heist at
Yeah.
the same time.
Right.
So at some point you do have to give away your cover,
It is.
but don't blow your cover.
It's like
And
a
you
cover.
get
Yeah.
don't blow your cover. You get to rob that bank, and you can go scot free. Like that's the thing with Payday 3, you can go scot free. So if like Bill or Chris, if you have Xbox Game Pass, you can play Payday 3 with us, and we can choose how we're gonna heist that bank.
nice.
It's all how you're going to do it. That's probably my most favorite right now. Is you have to come up with the game plan and how you're gonna do it. If you have a group of people that all had it, you can choose your roles of what you're gonna do. Go undercover as certain things and be able to go cover it up and choose how you're gonna rob that bank and how far away you can get away from it. Like there's gonna be shooter in it, 100%. Like you're going to shoot your gun at some point, but when do you shoot your gun is the best.
Right.
So the longer you can hold off from shooting your gun will put you in a better stand for sure. All right, so like Bill said, we're almost 3 hours in. I'm glad we had this. Thank you, Chris. Thank you,
No
Bill.
problem, man.
Glad
Thank you for
both of
having me.
you
It
are
was
here.
good. It's good
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
most
I
definitely.
hope both of you enjoyed this podcast. I hope to have both of you on at a later date. Bill, thank you for giving us time, a second time to have you on. We enjoy your voice. Everyone enjoys your voice. Be a voiceover. I'm going to tell you that a million times in my lifetime. You deserve to be a voiceover in a movie. I
Are
just
you
don't know.
looking
You're
for a
like
role play
almost.
community?
You're almost
Join
like
United Roleplay.
you're almost Morgan Freeman style on me. I just don't get it. But if you guys ever want to be on this again and you have another alcohol to talk about and you just want to continue this conversation, let's do
Absolutely.
it. I'll go
Absolutely.
another 3-hour conversation with you guys.
Yeah, it was good, man.
It's great. Until next time, I'm the Delta BB.
Hunter, aka Tallest Leprechaun.
You guys introduce yourselves, and I'll head up there in this.
I'm Chris, A5, Chris the Canadian.
I'm the asshole, Bill.
He
Hammy
sure
Games.
is. He sure is.
Hey, love you guys. Thank you again for being on.
Always.
We'll catch you again.
Cheers, homies.
Peace out,
Cheers.
Boy Scout.